Hello and welcome to the Law Patrol, proudly presented by Glazed Legal. On this channel, we take a look at all things legal and lawful as they happen in Australia and around the world. We review concepts, cases, and just generally shoot the breeze. Whilst we don't give advice, we can answer some questions and hopefully at least point you in the right direction. As we cover everything legal and don't shy away from the hard topics, we may occasionally cover themes or discussions that some may find disturbing or distasteful. So if necessary, make yourself a cup of concrete, put on your big kid pants and pull up a chair. If you have any questions or comments about anything we discuss, please don't hesitate to reach out by email at info@glazedlegal.com.au. Follow us on Facebook and remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Now, let's get into it. Good afternoon, good evening and good night, and welcome to today's episode of The Law Patrol. In the news, a 14-year-old boy is one of three teenagers which has been charged with murder at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. A US doctor has defended speaking on a 10-year-old abortion case. Hang on, is that a 10-year-old or a 10-year-old's? Yeah, so the kid was 10. A US man has survived being chewed up and spit out in a horrific shark attack. A cosmetic surgeon has settled a legal claim after removing a teenager's labia. Nice and light and bright for my... what would we'd be... It's still Saturday morning for the international viewers. A state Liberal MP banned from entering Parliament over allegations of inappropriate behaviour. And that'll about do it. But what I want to actually start with this morning is a news article that popped up on my Twitter feed that I thought had Larry just about creaming in his pants. Oh, I kind of wish I'd used a little bit nicer language than that. How bad is my green screen today? I can move that a little bit closer. Nope. Oh, shit. Shit. Austin. Very high production value going on here, guys. I do apologise. You left all that on the floor. Okay, let's try this again. Better, much better. Okay, where was I? Yes, I saw the information pop up on Twitter, so I wanted to actually have a look at this article. Today will not be an amber-free zone because of this. Okay, not taking pot shots at Larry or anything. I'm just specifying he did say in a tweet, excuse me, that Australia's out for blood. Hang on, where did it go? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, he's hanging his hat on this particular news article being provided to him, which is a little bit of BS if you ask me. In the chat, we have Robin, how are you doing? And Purple AJ, good to see you. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp to be summoned for Australian perjury trial. The Australian government has had enough and is about to give Amber Heard her final warning and a career-ending ultimatum for perjury. The Australian government has been investigating Amber Heard since she committed perjury for... Jesus, see, they haven't even written this properly. I'm going to have to be fucking careful. Since she allegedly committed perjury, although we all know she did, for smuggling animals across our border in 2015. Now they seek to bring both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard back to Australia for one last trial or else. Amber Heard has not only ruined her career by making veritable false and outlandish allegations against Johnny Depp, but she's also jeopardised Depp's career by committing perjury in Australia. Oh, fuck it, I'm just going to read it as is. The Australian Department of Agriculture has always been very strict on import of foreign animals, even domesticated ones like herds, to teacup Yorkshire dogs. In 2015, Amber Heard smuggled her 2 dogs into Australia to avoid fees and mandatory 10-day quarantine. She later lied under oath to the Australian court and blamed her secretary for failing to file the paperwork. The fired Aquaman actress was let off with a mere warning. However, shortly after the trial, images from Amber Heard's private Instagram story leaked where she was exposed, mocking the Australian judge and bragging about getting away with smuggling her dogs into the country. Then, during Depp's libel battle against the Sun, Amber Heard's personal assistant, known as Australia's own Kate James, stated under oath that she had not only insisted on Heard declaring the dogs, but that she had all the paperwork ready to go. Amber Heard did not just submit it. Amber Heard just did not submit it because it was not. She didn't want her dogs in quarantine for 10 days. You can have some water. I've been trying to do this thing where I try and have a bit of a nap before I start the video. I'm starting to think it's doing me more harm than good, to be perfectly honest. Feels like my brain's still trying to reboot or something. After all this, Amber thought it would still be funny to poke the proverbial beehive by mocking renowned Australian politician, the Honourable Barnaby Joyce, after he remarked on her antics and dog smuggling fiasco. This led to the Australian government putting their foot down, and they're now reportedly about to alter both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard an ultimatum. See, you got to check your sources, okay? Pop Topic is clearly. I mean, I've had very little to do with them in the past. I have read stuff from Pop Topic before, but there is another particular article that's sort of showing that this is full of shit. But they haven't even checked their sources on this. I mean, Kate James specifically did not say that yes, she insisted that dogs were not needed to be declared. The paperwork was not ready to go. She refused to state under oath that it was ready to go, that it had even been started, and there's email evidence going back and forth between Heard and her lawyers specifying that. But I'm going to say it's supposed to be issue both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard with an ultimatum. Not to mention the fact that the dogs were not just hers. One of them technically did belong to Johnny. So, they seem to be doing a little bit of talking out their ass. They've also specified that she's a fired Aquaman actress, which that might be true. I haven't looked at the news this morning. Let me know in the chat if she's actually been fired. I heard that she was being replaced. Heard. Australia is a very popular filming location for blockbuster films. Major studios are increasingly choosing to shoot. Hey, Double D, how you doing? Oh, fuck. No, I'm going to be good. Hello, Tweety. How's your weekend been? Major studios are increasingly choosing to shoot in the eastern states rather than the traditional Hollywood locations, thanks to hefty government funding and cutting-edge facilities. Well, Johnny Depp must also face trial. Seriously? That's really where we're going? It is highly unlikely that this will impact his relationship with Australia, nor will he get the same legal punishment as Amber Heard. Yeah, if he gets any at all, if he's even... they're really reaching. During Johnny Depp's defamation trial against Amber Heard in Virginia, sufficient evidence was presented to prove that both dogs were Amber Heard's responsibility and that she smuggled them into Australia of her own volition in 2015. Oh, good. Very happy to hear that. During the video in which she offers apologies, Amber gave the impression that she was not being honest and was not taking the situation seriously. This gave the impression she was disrespecting the government and the people of Australia. No shit, you think? Now, where did they specifically say, according to sources? Unless they've managed to change it. Unless they've managed to change it within specifically like 30 minutes since I first read this. Yeah, pop culture news. Let's call it a gossip rag. Let's be perfectly honest. There's so much in this that is not only unverified, but is just blatantly inaccurate. It's like someone took a look at some of the YouTube channels, picked up some information, but basically they were saying that I remember reading it that there was a source within the Australian government, here it is. According to our sources, Johnny and Amber will be summoned to a hearing in the Australia's federal court about the 2015 dog smuggling incident. If they don't, they could face a lifetime ban from Australia, which would be a devastating blow to any actor's career. Several things wrong with this paragraph. One, summons don't work that way. Two, I know you journalists, you're not supposed to specify who your sources are and that sort of thing. But again, there's no way that that would be only. So let's be clear. This is the only news outlet, and I use that term very loosely, that has reported anything even remotely like this. Okay. If it was even close to being broke like that, it would be all over certain other websites. So yeah, no, I do think this is a bit of full of shit. Hey Mel, how are you? So look, I didn't want to rain on Larry's parade, but when I saw this, it really shit me up the wall. I mean, look, just to give an idea of their level of professional journalism. This was the next article underneath that one. Vague sources equals bullshit content. Yeah, exactly. Woman claims she was banned from ANZ, which is Australia and New Zealand Bank, one of the big four, for having an OnlyFans. A woman on TikTok has claimed that ANZ has banned her for life and closed her accounts just because she has an OnlyFans page. However, there's more to the story. Bullshit. The ANZ has a vested interest in taking in as much money as they can so that they can then loan it out and charge interest on $9 that they've lent out to other people while only having one in the bank. No way are they preventing you from having an account just because you have an OnlyFans account. And I have heard that before. Maya Squats, a social influencer, claims the ANZ Bank expelled her from their branch, banned her for life, and closed all of her accounts because they were completely discriminatory against sex work. Yeah, they're really not allowed to do that anyway. So this is already ringing all sorts of alarm bells again. So yeah, sensationalist news at its best. However, according to witnesses, the OnlyFans model was engaged in questionable legal and ethical behaviour. Maya Squats is an OnlyFans. Hang on, I'll move that up a little bit. Sorry. Maya Squats is an OnlyFans model with a modest 2,300 person TikTok following. Hey, SJ. Let's just clarify. That means that I have a better following than she does, and yet I haven't been banned from any banks for inappropriate content. And fuck it, we all know how often I cover all sorts of shit that would be inappropriate on here. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not about to whip it out, but still. However, on TikTok, however, in home, attention seeker and Scots. Yep. Yeah, look, what I'm basically trying to get across here is the quality of content of the media source that has basically tried to get the scoop on the Australian government trying to bring Amber and Johnny here. This is a sort of other shit that they've basically covered in the same breath. So on TikTok, however, her most recent video, in which she accuses the ANZ Bank of being sexist and permanently banning her and shutting all of her accounts because she is a sex worker, has garnered 190,000 views and 8,000 likes. Yeah, no incentive to lie through your ass there, is there? I'm now banned from ANZ for life, which feels absolutely amazing due to the fact I have an OnlyFans account. The ANZ Bank, are completely discriminatory against sex work, so brilliant. No, they're not. They're legitimately not allowed to be anyway. ANZ was founded in London in 1835 as the Bank of Australasia under Royal Charter. The Australian New Zealand Banking Group Limited is a multinational banking and financial services corporation headed in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. It is Australia's second largest bank, wrong, in terms of assets, and fourth largest bank in terms of market capitalisation. I'd have to double check the figures on that. Well, many people felt that they were too late. There was more to the tale. Maya Squats refused to provide any additional information. Wonder why? Instead directing visitors to her Instagram account, which was subsequently turned private. For fuck's sake. Other clients of the same bank have since come forward to provide light on the surrounding circumstances of her lifetime ban from the ANZ. This woman was promoting her OnlyFans and Instagram accounts by airdropping explicit nudes from her iPhone while she was inside the bank. It was a disgusting and, as far as I can tell, illegal method of self-promotion, as one eyewitness put it. Sending unsolicited nudes using technology is considered cyberflashing. Cyberflashing is an act of sending an unsolicited photo of a person's genitalia without their knowledge, or via social media apps such as Instagram, dating apps such as Hinge, or the iPhone's AirDrop feature. In 2019, the British Transport Police reported 66 cases, emphasis on reported, but it is likely that there are countless more that went undetected. There have been numerous anecdotal reports of cyber flashing through airdrop occurring on trains, buses, and tubes. I will admit there was that one that I saw a week and a half ago of the guy that the idiot that decided to airdrop a picture of his pecker to everyone on the plane. Like, how was he expecting that to end? Seriously. And this was before the bug hit, forcing the nation to stay at home and spend more time online than ever. Seriously, she supposedly has an OnlyFans page. Cyber flashing is a criminal activity that can land a person in jail for 1 year, for a whole year, according to the New York Times. Maya Scott's uploaded a video to her TikTok account on June 8, in which she boasted about airdropping nudes to strangers in a coffee shop, demonstrating that she had previously employed the tactic for self-promotion. Miss Maya has declined to comment on the allegations and provide any other details regarding her lifetime ban from the ANZ. Yeah, okay. So I think we can legitimately see why she was banned. It had absolutely fucking nothing to do with. Hey Jane, how are you? I reckon that had absolutely nothing to do with her having an OnlyFans account. That was very loosely related in any way to her having an OnlyFans account. Where are we? Just to cover the chats, because I haven't actually said hello to people properly. Hello, Mel. How you doing? SG, good to see you. Shade Chaser. Hey, now, it has to be true. Some gal who disagreed with me on TikTok said journalists have a legal obligation not to lie. She insisted all journalists never report on something they have not verified as true. Oh, Jesus. Refused to give additional information. Sounds kind of sus. Yeah, no shit. Airdrop is a real problem by the looks of things. I'm inclined to agree. And Jean is in the house. Hello. But yeah, so that was basically what I just wanted to get out there, because, like, again, I didn't want to rain on Larry's parade, but he seemed pretty stoked when he saw that. So, right, so I can close that and close that, which is good. I no longer have to worry about that. Okay. I think I'm probably going to name this. I'm probably going to rename this one to "Women, Women, Women." If I'm perfectly honest, because pretty much every news article that I've covered has something to do with cosmetic surgery or female masturbation or woman finding her engagement ring before she's proposed to. And I do apologise if actually I'm guessing half the blokes probably just walked out the door anyway. So I will try and cover all this in as clinical and appropriate way as possible without it turning smutty. I mean, look, Megan's not here, so we should be fine. Where are we? We'll get into some of the more serious stuff first, though. 14-year-old boy, one of 3 teenagers charged with murder at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. A 14-year-old boy is alleged to have inflicted the stab wound that killed a teenage ride attendant during a brawl at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. The boy and 2 other men, aged 18, were all charged with murder this week over the death of 17-year-old Uati Pele Feletulu on April 11. About 8 p.m. that night, the emergency services were called to the carnival ride section of the showground after reports of a brawl. Authorities found a 16-year-old boy and a 17-year-old had been stabbed during the melee. The older teen, who was later identified as Feletulu, died from a chest wound while being transported to hospital. He had been taking a break from working on the amusement park rides when the brawl began. Oh, I can't even talk. Jesus. The 16-year-old boy was treated for a stab wound to his leg, and police have confirmed that he has recovered. Police this week caught the 2 18-year-old men and 14-year-old boy who they allege were responsible. Wait, what? Just a sec. Did anyone here see Andrew's video last night? I may have missed it. Why? What? Is this something I need to go and view? Actually, it's probably not a bad idea, because I've got very little to do today, I'll be perfectly honest. I woke up at like 5 to midnight, and I'm like, holy shit, not only am I almost an hour late from when I usually start, but I haven't done shit all research at all. Hence why I'm stumbling over myself. Next stabbing in Australian Mall was awful to watch. Oh yeah, that was Nick's. Oh yeah. Are we talking about Ricardo's stream from the other day, or did Andrew cover it as well? The trio has been charged with murder. Police on Saturday revealed that they would allege in court the youngest boy was the person to have stabbed him. Oh Jesus! Acting Assistant Commissioner Jason Weinstein said the boys were all known to each other prior to the attack, which police allege may have been motivated by postcode links. Seriously, you can't actually... See, here's my issue. People go on and on about how everyone's supposed to be treated the same and all this sort of stuff, and you realize that people will find any excuse whatsoever to discriminate against another and use that as an excuse to instigate... Well, I don't want to say violence because that's not accurate, but like aggression and that sort of thing. It's gotten to the point where people who are of the same ethnicity will start gangs and fight amongst each other because they live in a different postcode. It's literally the next suburb over. Oh, the 80,000 celebration. Actually, no, I've been meaning to go back and... I didn't watch the entirety of that. When I tuned in, he had like, 7 or 8 other people in there, so I didn't really bother. Knives are sharp. Is this another stabbing incident? Yep. Young kid stabbed at the Sydney show. So, he said the arrests were the result of a lengthy and difficult investigation under Strike Force Calais, in which detectives were initially met with a wall of silence. Mr. Weinstein said the families of both the victim and the boy who allegedly fatally stabbed him would be forever devastated by this senseless act. He said police were still investigating the night of April 11 and would continue searching for the other people who were involved in the brawl. I implore you to go to your local police station and hand yourself in. We will not rest until every individual in this matter is before courts. What? I was upset with them. Women are a waste of time. Oh, yeah, I did see bits and pieces about that. I wasn't strictly comfortable with that as well. Actually, no, but look, that's probably putting it mildly. Look, I'll do a counter video to that, all right? Not necessarily tonight, because I'd like to put all my thoughts in order before I come out looking like a misogynist or a misandrist. But, yeah, I thought some of the things that were said were a little bit... No, they weren't a little bit. Some of the things that were said were inappropriate. But to be fair, let's remember Andrew has no control over any of his individuals or guests that attend on his channel. I did feel like he himself got pushed to the back on his own stream. So, Police Minister Paul Toole said the investigation had been very challenging due to the fact that many of the young witnesses were unwilling to speak with the police. Police have spent hundreds of hours going through CCTV footage, looking at social media footage, and iPhones to be able to lay these charges. The first 18-year-old was arrested at a home in Shalvey in Blacktown at 6:30 p.m. on July 9 and charged with murder. He appeared in Parramatta Children's Court the following day and was denied bail. Hang on, 18, charged with murder, and he was in the Parramatta... Hogue is doing Lawyers and Dragons, which I might watch tomorrow. It looks like fun. Oh, is that actually... I thought that they'd already recorded that. I didn't think they were live. Are they live? I'm happy to have that on the background as well while I just talk. Yeah, no, I uploaded a new video. Okay. Is anyone live? Who's live? Oh, no, Hogue's live. Okay. Oh, this is Kurt. Okay. Where are we? Chrissy, don't worry. I'm late as all shit too, so... all we've really covered so far has been an article that Larry got really excited about on Twitter, basically saying that the Australian government was going to be issuing a summons. Just wanted to point out that that particular media outlet is basically a gossip rag that I wouldn't necessarily... it's in the live section. Okay. Yeah, it's a gossip rag that I wouldn't necessarily blow my nose on, least of all because it's mostly online. And this poor guy that got stabbed at the Sydney Royal show. So I suppose that's one way if he's wanting to celebrate 70,000 subs. That's what I said. Look, for the brief time that I was there, I put it in the chats. I said, okay, taking bets. Is Legal Mindset's subscriber rate going to explode or is it going to drop like a stone? Hey, Phil, how are you? Yeah, no worries, Chrissy. More than happy to. I love that there's almost 30 people here. This is just getting so much more traction. I'm so happy to have everyone here. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I do apologize for being very, very late. I think I'm going to start 86 in the naps, if I'm honest. It's just not working for me. Probably drop. Yes, I'm unsure why he should have been granted the benefit of appearing in the children's court. Honestly, around 5 p.m. on July 13, police and special squads arrested a second 18-year-old at Schofield's train station in Sydney's West. He was charged with murder and refused bail. He will remain in custody until he appears in Burwood local court on September 7. What's that? I'm only here because you're late and time is racist. TPR is an adorable ongoing typo. Oh shit! Did I copy and paste that straight? That was sent to me by one of our lovely viewers who gives me a lot of support behind the scenes, and I must have included it in the fucking automatic thing now, so that it just goes on every video whenever I post one. Upload defaults. Where are we? TPR. Okay. Changed. And save. Okay. Yep. Please remember to hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell, because as you can tell, it can be any time of day when I just pop in here. Ingest those darn assault knives. I have an idea. Why don't the Aussies make a law banning knives? Maybe that'll work. Surprisingly, we already have. You can't. It's fairly tame in comparison to gun standards, but you can't buy any sort of bladed instrument at all unless you're over the age of 18 from any store. But yeah, law can chainsaw some language. Thank you for that. Hey, Dickie, how are you? Uh-oh. Megan has a formal complaint. Tell you what, I'll give you my mother's email address for questions or complaints. Please consult the manufacturer. Go on, let me have it. Free Farron's liver. Apparently, YouTube times me out in chats if I stay on for too long. Who knew? I was not aware of that. Really? Soon we'll be eating with just plastic. No. Don't you start again. You were cheeky and frisky enough last night as it was, thank you. We already do have laws banning criminals, thankfully. No, see, eventually we're not even going to be able to do that because remember they're banning plastic. So we've got paper straws and all that sort of jazz. Did the dude in the photograph manscape his eyes with a knife? No, that is a thing for some reason. They take notches out of their eyebrows to look cool. I have no idea why. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Where are we? Further inquiries led to the arrest of a third teen on Friday. The 14-year-old was arrested by investigators in Ardnall Park in Blacktown on July 15 and also charged with murder. He was also refused bail and will face a children's court on Saturday. Oh, interesting. Homicide Squad detectives made several appeals for public assistance during their investigation, including releasing CCTV footage from the night in question. Police believed showgoers seen in the footage may have seen or filmed the fatal brawl. The clipped eyebrows is a gang thing. Oh, is it? Okay, there you go. Yep, got that. Bisexuals and lesbians do the eyebrow thing too. Do they? There you go. Learn something new every day. So does eyebrow piercings do that? Yeah. 2 for Bloods, 3 for Crips. I don't remember what the rest of them name. Huh, interesting. And does the eyebrow thing mean something? Well, yeah, apparently, according to Dickie, it means which gang you're in. Bamboo spoons for takeaways, knives, forks. Yeah, the other ones that I've seen are like biodegradable ones, that it's a form of plastic that's made out of like seaweed remains or something so that it breaks down. It's ridiculous. Eyebrow chopping. Very, let's say, gentle. Jason Momoa got his eyebrow notched through an injury. Gangs emulating Momoa. Sorry, no. Oh, fuck. I tell you that I wasn't taking a shot at you just then. I misread what you said, and then I put it in my head, and then, oh, fucking hell. Oh, what are we, like half hour in and the wheels are already off? All right. All right, let's get into some of the more serious cases. As I said, I was going to rename tonight's episode as "Women, Women, Women," because a lot of the things in the news, and look, we can't necessarily call it all news, relates to things that are women-centric, shall we say. Mimosa is a luscious drink. Manoma is a luscious drink. Mimosa. Had one too many of those tonight, Tweety, have we? All right, let's cover the 10-year-old abortion case, get that out of the road. It's the horrifying child abortion case in the US that US President Joe Biden empathized with, and now the doctor who provided the service is being investigated by state authorities. After a 10-year-old child abuse victim in America traveled across state lines to receive an abortion, the doctor who conducted it is defending her right to speak up about the tragic case. The Indiana-based obstetrician gynecologist Dr. Caitlin Bernard is at the center of a political firestorm after speaking out about the 10-year-old girl who traveled from Ohio to get access to the medical service. On Thursday US time, Dr. Bernard's lawyer Kathleen Delaney issued a statement maintaining that her client provided proper treatment and did not violate any patient privacy laws when she discussed the unidentified girl's situation. Dr. Bernard took every appropriate and proper action in accordance with the law and both her medical and ethical training as a physician. She followed all relevant policies, procedures, and regulations in this case, just as she does every day to provide the best possible care for her patients. She has not violated any law, including patient privacy laws, and she has not been disciplined by her employer. A 27-year-old Ohio man was charged on Wednesday with sexual assault of a young girl after he confessed to SAing her at least twice, according to the Columbus Dispatch. However, when the girl tried to access abortion services after falling pregnant, she was denied treatment. Ooh. Doesn't he just look punchable? Or is that just me? Like, don't get me wrong. For anyone that knows the story of my right hand and my finger, just keep in mind, I only have one good punch, and there's a good chance I would waste it on that guy. This comes after the US Supreme Court overturned the landmark Roe v. Wade ruling, which placed the legality and access to abortion services back on the individual states. The 10-year-old girl was then forced to travel to Indiana, where she received a medically induced abortion on June 30. The horrifying case came to light when US President Joe Biden highlighted it on the same day the signing of an executive order aimed at protecting partial abortion access in the wake of the US Supreme Court's ruling. Looks deportable. On January 1, Dr. Bernard then spoke about the case in an interview with the Indy Star. While Dr. Bernard and her lawyer, Ms. Delaney, maintained that the physician did not break any laws when speaking out about the case, Republican Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita announced on Thursday that his office was investigating her actions. Mr. Rokita said that he would investigate whether the doctor had violated child abuse notification or abortion reporting laws and whether privacy laws were broken when she spoke to the media. Oh, fuck off. Just looking to vilify her. His office has not alleged any specific wrongdoing committed by Dr. Bernard. However, Ms. Delaney said that she is considering taking legal action against those who have speared to their client, including against Mr. Rokita. When news of the 10-year-old victim's case came to light, US media publications initially scrutinized whether the girl was actually a victim of SA, including a PJ Media conservative columnist who published an article under the headline, "Viral Pregnant 10-Year-Old SA Victim, Abortion Horror Story Deserves a Deeper Look," on July 8. Some Republicans also initially cast doubt on whether Dr. Bernard's account of the case was real, including Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost, who told Fox News on Monday that there was not a whisper of evidence supporting the case's existence. Mr. Yost has since told the media that his heart aches for the pain suffered by this young child and has vowed to provide support in the ongoing police case. Yeah, you're right. It does look deportable. At least deplorable, anyway. All right, let's remove that. Where are we going? Generations ago, a 12-year-old has a child after SA that grandmother's lineage. Brandon Tatum on YouTube. Okay. There's still a lot of questions about this case. It seems like the rapist was living with or very close to the victim. He's an illegal immigrant. Okay. Momo is a human, mimosa is a drink, hence my twisted humour. I don't know, Tweety. There's a lot of people who would consider him a tall glass of water, wouldn't they? I've noticed that these types have a strange face look. Yeah, I can see that. The doctor who performed the abortion in Indiana is now under indictment for failure to report a felony. Lucas the Lost Old Man. Her abortion would have been legal here in Ohio, but instead they took her to Indiana and returned her back to where she could have access to her, and the cops are very shady. Right, okay. CRIP stood for Community Restoration in Progress or something like this. Okay, interesting. Ohio is an exception for SA. The R's have been pretty disgusting about this case. All right. Pedophiles tend to have a similar face characteristic, according to an NIH publication. Really? Okay. The girl was 9 when this guy did the deal. That's horrible. Poor child. Imagine going through all of this and it being so public. America's a mess. The cops told the Attorney General that they did not have any reports, but they did get a report on June 22nd. Lots of fishy behaviour. Ooh, is that right? So we've got potential police misconduct in there as well. It's always fun. Okay, well, let's switch gears slightly. US man survives being chewed up and spat out in a horrific shark attack. A California man has survived being chewed up and spit out in a horrific great white shark attack that had him 1 millimeter from death. How the hell do I pronounce that? Steve Brumarat, 62, was swimming at Lovers Point Beach in Pacific Grove when he was bitten in the abdomen by a white pointer, narrowly missing a main artery. It grabbed me, pulled me up, and then dove down into the water, and then, of course, it spit me out, he told the local KSBW news station. I was about 150 yards from the beach when wham, the retired college professor explained from his hospital bed. What was it? I don't even know what happened. It was just like, well, turns out I was bit ferociously by the shark right across my thighs and my abdomen. Mr. Brumer said the sea was calm on the day. There was no wind and the ocean was flat. There were no waves. It was calm. Oh, look, someone made him cookies. The survivor says he believes the shark mistook him for a seal and let go after realizing he wasn't food. It was looking at me right next to me. I thought it could bite me again, so I pushed it with my hand and kicked at it with my foot, and it left. Heroes, how do we get into the bloody water with maybe a shark circling beneath you to save a stranger? They're amazing. Old Crip Ganga member must have been lying to me. Sharks are tapped. It was 1 millimeter because they measured it afterwards, clearly. More to the point, they used metric for some reason. Internet reporter Megan Fox did an interview on Fox TV that got the local police embarrassed and put them into action. They then arrested the PO illegal guy. Oh, Jesus. The guy didn't taste good. I would hope not. I mean, look, I'm not a cannibal. I could not be stuffed. But thought someone had packaged up that shark into fillets. Probably not. Here's an idea. Don't go in the water where they fucking live. Love. Live, love, whichever one it is, Megan. Live. Okay. He's very lucky the shark did not shake him even once. It must have eaten just before the bite. Yeah, quite possibly. Oh, fuck, I was muted. Of course I was. All right. Well, all I was saying is that here in Australia, we have some absolutely beautiful coastline, And in summer, you can't not go to the beach. It's the only way to stay fucking cool. Yes, all right, I get it. Everyone went deaf because I'm a boomer and I hit the mute button by accident. So I've got one on my fucking thing here, so if I lean the wrong way, it just goes. So, but anyway. All right. State Liberal MP banned from entering Parliament over allegations of inappropriate behaviour. A state Liberal MP was banned from entering Parliament after several allegations he behaved inappropriately towards Victorian parliamentary staff, denying his local community a representative to vote on legislation. Oh God, it's Hastings. Hastings MP Neil Burgess is under investigation by the Parliament over accusations about inappropriate behaviour towards staff employed at Parliament in a handful of incidents beginning in November. Holy fuck, whoever wrote this, you need to put a fucking full stop or a comma in there. Seriously. Like, you've gone this entire length, no full stop, no comment, then you get to a comma here. So I'm supposed to keep going on the same breath, according to five sources familiar with the case who are not permitted to speak about it publicly. What's that? Uncivil seems like he needs a break. You should go bug him on his live stream. I would, but then I'm potentially opening myself up to hate for that. So, the Department of Parliamentary Services launched an investigation in November last year, and the MP who later oversaw the matter, then Speaker and Labor MP Colin Brooks, was informed in February. 2 months later, the Speaker received a formal notice of allegations from a law firm representing the complainant, prompting the MPs who manage the affairs of Parliament, to the Speaker and the President of the Upper House, to take the highly unusual step of banning Burgess from Parliament for 1 month until he formally responded to the allegations. Editors' lives matter. Oh, no shit. Hey, Lotus, how are you? A parliamentary source told The Age the presiding officers were yet to receive a response in late June when Brooks finished as Speaker and was promoted to the Andrews government cabinet. A source close to Burgess, 65, said he was devastated by the allegations and intended to defend himself against them. You fucking moron. He believes he has been misrepresented, the source said. A spokeswoman for Colin Brooks confirmed the investigation and told The Age every person has the right to feel safe in their workplace. As soon as the former Speaker was made aware of the allegations, he supported the actions taken to ensure the complaint was taken seriously and an investigation was carried out. When opposition leader Matthew Guy and Liberal head office was informed by Brooks in late April, a Liberal source said the party told Burgess he was not permitted to attend any party events or involve himself in Liberal affairs until the investigations were finalised. An opposition spokesman said, well, when informed of these allegations by the Speaker, the opposition followed the Speaker's clear advice, taking all necessary action as directed by him. The senior Liberal source, speaking anonymously to detail the sensitive subject, said Liberal officials were frustrated that Brooks and the Department of Parliamentary Services failed to detail the allegations once they emerged. Brooks last month became a minister and was given portfolios including child protection and disabilities. Let's specify, that's not the same guy. Brooks is not the same guy that is under investigation. Hey Vicky, how are you? How many of these instances could have been avoided if we were informed last November? The alleged victims did not want details of their claims publicised, multiple sources said. Burgess told The Age that he was unable to comment on the allegations. No shit. Burgess, who was elected in 2006, announced he was retiring in November, about the same time as concerns were raised about his behaviour. You don't say. Even though he is leaving Parliament, news of his alleged actions are a nuisance for the opposition, which has been sharpening its focus on the state's strained health system ahead of the November election. According to parliamentary records, Burgess has not made a speech in Parliament since March 24. Under the Legislative Assembly standing orders, a member cannot be absent for more than 9 consecutive sitting days without permission from the Speaker. Multiple Liberal sources told The Age Burgess has been absent from Parliament regularly over the past 2 years due to health issues. Burgess won the seat of Hastings in 2018, but suffered a 7% swing against him. Following a redrawing of electoral boundaries, Hastings is notionally held by the Labor Party on a 0.4% margin, making it one of the most marginal seats in the state. Bryony Hutton, a former staffer to former Federal Minister Greg Hunt and recent Chief Executive of the Committee for the Mornington Peninsula, is the Liberals' new candidate. The Andrews government is currently considering a recommendation that Brooks made when he was Speaker to fine or sack MPs from Parliament for serious cases of misconduct towards staff. Under one proposal, first reported in The Age, a new independent commissioner would be able to bypass the Parliament and, for the first time, fine, suspend, or expel MPs. The proposal is considered to be a significant shift from the current regime where MPs can only be expelled by a vote of their colleagues. When Burgess announced he would not be contesting the next election, he said in a statement that it was the right time for me and the right time for my party. Yeah, run and hide, dude, run and hide. Serving my community has been a lifelong passion of mine, and having that privilege for 16 years is something I will be forever grateful to my community for. It is now time to pass the baton to someone new with a fresh perspective, who will continue to serve this wonderful community. The Age put questions to the clerk of the Legislative Assembly, who is currently on leave. Of course they are. Don't you just love that there is a person that's responsible for answering questions, and they can be away on leave, so you can't actually get any answers out of them. Okay, back in the chat. Where do we go? Lotus, hello. Dickie, it's a break from installing my old new music software. Been at it for the last 7 hours. Fuck. Sounds like me when I have to reinstall Windows after something. Swear to God, the amount of software. Australian sharks do not fuck around. They eat people with gusto. Sharks, Australian for you dead. Editor Lives Matter. California sharks like to nibble. Bulletproof Clipboard. Good morning from Oregon, USA. Good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to the morning show. Must be easy living on the Kelly Shore. Jean says, we have a tiger shark breeding area just off the coast. Fair enough. That was when Vicky T dropped in. Hello. California sharks tend to nibble on surface. California humans aren't as tasty as seals, apparently. One would hope not. We generally use sea enclosure or the sea pool, which is safer. Yeah, I can understand that. Greenhouse sharks are pretty docile. They are now a protected species with their numbers in decline due to hunters. Yep. Debating if it's even worth installing what's left, given I have to wait for them to reset my license to activate any of it. Yeah, fair enough. What are we worried about? Bears and Bigfoot. Dickie, free music has been available since 1999. It's production software, studio stuff. Yep, no, fair enough. Alrighty, where are we? You know what? Just for you, Megan, just because you're talking about the Baldo. Oof, and wrecked. We have Yowies in Australia. Yeah, I have yet to see I've yet to see a credible thing about a Yowie, though. Today in Body and Soul. Oh shit, look, there's now almost 40 people here. Hello. Just as we're going to talk about vibrators desensitizing. Can overusing my vibrator desensitize me? Hey, hang on, why is this not? Can overusing my vibrator desensitize me? A sex coach answers. If you're currently in self-isolation, this may be the ideal time to commit to some regular solo sex practice with absolutely no fear of desensitizing your genitals. Sex educator and intimacy coach Georgia Grace says has a public service announcement. You can't damage your nerve endings with too much self-pleasure, despite what Sex and the City may have you believe. In its prime, Sex and the City was the pioneering, radical sex ed we never had. My clients still refer to ideas they learnt about sex from the show, like the episode Samantha thought she'd run out of orgasms because she'd used them up, or the one where Charlotte had to be saved from her rabbit vibrator. The lessons here: you don't have too much sex, and for God's sakes, don't get addicted to your vibrator. A lot has changed since the 90s, but it seems as though we're still carrying around these sex-shamey messages and judgment, a weight that we shouldn't have to bear. So I want to shed light on some of these myths and put an end to the shame and judgment around masturbation and vibrators. Firstly, scratch the stigma. Hang on, where's that? Yeah, okay, so that is working properly there. Okay, don't know why that was. To start on a positive note, there are so many health benefits to masturbation and using vibrators, such as increasing lubrication, arousal, and pleasure, reducing pain or discomfort during sex, and providing equal access to pleasure. Not only this, but self pleasure is a safe and pleasurable way to practice self care, which is increasingly important in the current climate of social distancing and self isolation. For those using toys during solo sex, concerns often swell, pun intended, around whether vibrators can cause clitoral desensitization. Is that? Yeah, it is desensitization. The short answer is vibrators do not and cannot cause any desensitization of your genitals at all. Vibrators cannot rub away your nerve endings or damage them in any way, but allow me to elaborate and put you at ease. The suggestion that you can desensitize your clitoral nerve endings is associated with the shame and stigma around the use of sex toys and masturbation. Unfortunately, these pleasure taboos, particularly for those with vulvas, has contributed to a lack of research and understanding around the anatomy and function of the clitoris. Oh dear God. Hang on, is that 3D printed? It looks like it's 3D printed. Extensive research has shown that women and people with vulvas orgasm more quickly and easily with stimulation of their clitoris, in addition to any other sexual experiences like penetration. Using vibrators can support all people in receiving the stimulation they want or need in order to feel good. A small study recorded in the Journal of Sexual Medicine also found the majority of vibrator users report no adverse or negative symptoms from their use. As an example, say you've been sitting down for a long period of time and your bum may start to feel slightly numb, so you get up and move around, shake it off, and the sensation returns. This doesn't stop you from sitting down again for fear of losing more sensation from your bum each time. The same applies to masturbation. If you're masturbating the same way each time and you start to experience feelings of numbness, or you're less sensitive to stimulation when having sex with others, take a break, mix it up with your masturbation routine, and try something new. Sensation will always return. It is healthy and important for women to develop and maintain a fulfilling and pleasurable relationship with their body through masturbation or other forms of self-pleasure. Whether you're new and curious or seasoned and eager to enhance your self-pleasure journey through toys, there are some incredible new technologies for you to explore. My current favorite, one that I've been recommending to clients, is the WeVibe Wand. WeVibe Wand? I've heard about the WeVibe. What's the WeVibe Wand? A powerful cordless massager with responsive technologies, playful attachments, and an ergonomic design suitable for self-pleasure on various regions of the body, from your clitoris to your nipples, through powerful rumbly vibrations. If you're currently in self-isolation or just working from home, this may be the ideal time to commit to a regular solo practice with absolutely no fear of desensitizing your genitals. Yeah, hi Pam. I'm just on the phone call. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be a couple of minutes. Yeah. I'll talk to you later. Damn it! I did say be respectful. My apologies. Exploring your body, inviting pleasure into your life, typically offers a sense of much needed calm despite the current chaos. And remember, a lot has changed since Sex and the City, so instead of saving your girlfriends from their vibrators, maybe you could gift them one instead. Georgia Grace is an Australian sex education and intimacy coach and ambassador for the WeVibe. Also, no shit, that's why she's pushing the WeVibe. So there you go. Now, I'm very curious as to what happened in the chat while I was reading this. Oh, where are we? What's a yowie? A yowie is sort of our version of Bigfoot. They're in sort of native Australian. Actually, see if I can just pull up because they're even like a chocolate toy now. Let's see if I can pull up a image. See if I can share that. There. So there's some various images of yowies. So it's more or less what you'd expect from your typical mythology around the missing link. So the Yeti, Sasquatch, whatever. But then you've also got these little shits, these little fuckers here. Which are basically what do you call it? Almost like Kinder Surprise. They've got like Australian native animals as toys and that sort of thing inside them. So it's It's all fun for the kids. Vibrators are my favorite subject. Do you have a bowl of them? No. No, I do not, unfortunately. African cannibals were once asked why they didn't like eating white people. They said white people meat tastes bad. I would hope that most people meat tastes bad, if I'm perfectly honest. Told my girlfriend about the Baldo, and now it's going into a monologue, and now it's going into a monologue. Oh, Jesus. So it's a degenerate stream today. No, I never said that, Nicholas. I'm trying to be incredibly respectful, given that there has been... let's call it a pro-female stream today. Let's call it that. It's in no way degenerate. I'm trying to approach all sorts of topics in a positive, body-conscious, and... Sorry, not body-conscious, a positive... Body positivity. Let's call it that, and leave it at that. You guys want to get degenerate in the stream? That's entirely up to you. That's in no way on me. Okay, also just updated my MPC's firmware and both the hardware and PC suites. Suppose I'll be moving to that next, given I use it daily. Ouch. Okay. Yay, do you have a sixth sense for the word? Went on a yowie hunt for a few years back. Apparently there's some in the mountain areas in New South Wales. I had heard that. Didn't see any, but there are reports of them over the years. Yep. I'm not believing this article. That's bullshit. Overstimulation is just that. Once that is the bar, the real thing becomes a problem. Oh, for God's sakes. Rumble is my new favorite. Rumble is my favorite yowie. Yep, fair enough. People with vulvas sound like this. Sounds like they're raising young women. Don't believe everything you read. Masturbation is good, but the real thing is even better. Does this person have shares in the adult toy market or something? No, well, it did specify in a disclaimer down the bottom that she was a ambassador for the Wii Vibe. So the female orgasm is a myth. I don't know, Nick. I don't know, honestly. More to the point, if that's your belief, you might be scaring off some of the women in chat. Just saying. Worst X-Men ever for saving the planet, I guess. It's for a woman, it's 10 out of 10. Aside from the skin thickening of it, I don't know if any of it's permanent. Okay. Liberals are furiously trying to erase real women from everything. It's insane. Forget what the study is under, but I think it's sexual dysfunction. Okay. All right. Sensitized genitals is what we all aspire for. Sure, yes, the entire article is a sex toy promotion ad. It's not permanent, but overstimulation can definitely cause desensitization. Yeah, which I think is one of the things that she was getting at. So, wait, bearded? What? Where is he? Did I miss that? I thought he was asleep. Outrageous and doubly outrageous because promised fun that she involved in. Next soon, we're just going to Google something. Fair enough, SJ. Core memory unlocked. Yowie, Captain Caveman. Yes, yes, Captain Caveman very much falls into that. Show us drop bears too. Okay, all right. Let's see if I can find some drop bear photos. Drop. It's Australia. There you go. What are drop bears and why has one town named a street after them? You thought koalas were the one thing that Australia wasn't... When you thought koalas were the one thing in Australia that wasn't going to kill you. Of course they're not going to fucking kill you. Everything kills you in Australia, including koalas. I'm just going to leave that there while I go through some more of these chats. This is a brain thing too, so it works just like drugs and other things at simulators. Yeah, fair enough. Autocorrect is shafting me today. I'm not going to touch that one. You take the 10-foot pole, but I'm not going to touch that one. Gene Woodhouse, OEM or original equipment manufacturer, tends to be used in the automobile realm. Yeah, also in computer software. So let's go on a cryptid sidetrack. Yeah, sure. Dude, how do you ever get laid? Honestly, if that's legitimately what you're throwing in chat, I would shudder to think what you're like when you're trying to chat up a chick. This doesn't sound like the incel alt-right red pill show I come to watch. Oh, fuck you. At what point has anyone ever considered me an incel? I'm still not on that fucking list, so. Oh, you actually went to Google at SG 269, that's true. Would note that vibration can be used to remove the sensation of pain. There's surgical uses for it, though I forget what those devices are called. Female orgasms exist. Sorry that you haven't entered into that realm. Uh-oh. Trouble in paradise. The Yowie bearded. Yeah, fair enough. G'day, Divinity. How are you doing? Chlamydia bears cursed. No thanks. What the fuck? Women shouldn't exist. Make women illegal. Koalas have syphilis. No, chlamydia. Wait, was it? No, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's chlamydia. Great news on AH. No, and that's the point. So that was the whole first thing that I started with. That news article is bullshit. I know that Larry was very excited about it. I know that people are reporting on it. Sources say is bullshit. Okay, there's so many things wrong with that article that's not funny. Well, oh my god, poor little pissed off koala. Yeah, I'm just going to take that down now. Cryptids are fun. The internet is not real life. I'm aware of that. I'm just saying. She's a woman, her opinion doesn't count. Whoa. No, they have chlamydia. Not all. It went through their populations. Their habitat started to rebuild. Yep. What article? Oh, hang on. See if I can bring it back up. Basically, there was a news article that Larry got all excited about, which basically showed that. Where are we? Pop topic. There it is. Yeah, I'll re-put it up just because it's there. So this is the one that got him all excited. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp to be summoned for Australian perjury trial. Next to none of this is accurate. Yeah, so Larry put out a tweet earlier today, basically going, "Oh, everything's exciting. They're going to wind up in court, all that sort of thing," and it was based pretty much solely on this article, which is by Pop Topic, which is an absolute gossip rag that I wouldn't wipe my ass with. So, basically goes on to say that sources inside the Department of Agriculture, which is bullshit. That Amber Heard smuggled her 2 dogs into Australia. She later lied under oath. There's various bits and pieces in here that's full of shit. Yeah, it's clickbait. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, I basically went through this. I think it was the first article I covered. But don't take it with a grain of salt, basically, is what I'm saying. I think I can get rid of that scary ass drop here. I don't need that popping up every time I open my webpage now. Okay, I'm curious to get various female opinions on this one. Woman finds engagement ring before fiance proposes and hates it. Part of getting engaged for many people is the surprise of receiving a ring, but one woman stumbled upon her engagement ring at home before her fiance had proposed and was less than impressed with his choice. The woman showed off the ring in a video which featured a gold band with a square-cut diamond. You absolutely hate it. Classy. Instead of being excited, she added the caption, "POV, you found your engagement ring and you absolutely hate it. Help, what do I do?" After trying on the ring, she can then be seen tossing the ring box across the room. Ungrateful cow. The clip was reshaped on the TikTok account. What was reshaped on the TikTok account to Pearl's Shop, and people were quick to weigh in on the debate. Some gave tips for getting a new ring, while others say find a picture online that looks like it, then show it to him and say, "Ooh, look at this ring a girl from my high school got." However, many said she should be fucking grateful. One commented, "I'll never understand people being sad over the engagement ring because it's too small, etc. It's not because it's the ring. It's not about the ring. It's about what he's asking." A third joked, "Point of view, the ring is not for you." I mean, look, I've got several questions about this, but look at those nails. She's got fucking fake diamantes. No wonder she's pissed off about The Rock. Show us on a doll where someone hurt you. Huge amount of amber clickbait by trying to complete lying on the internet post. AH is toast. Yeah. I don't know if you're going to get nowhere with women if her opinions don't matter. This lady desires nothing then. Yeah. Nope. Why does the ring mean so much? That can be replaced later in the marriage. Absolutely. Run, dude. She's not worth it. Male opinion is that it isn't the wedding ring she is getting, so her getting pissed means the marriage is doomed. He should run, throw the whole girl away and get a new one. Yeah. I saw a video of a senator demanding answers on why the investigation into AH is taking so long. Yeah, so that particular video in the Senate, there was one that was about 2 weeks ago. There was one in May, and then there was one also back in October, which was around this. So the one a couple of weeks ago is what spurred me on to submitting my own FOI inquiries. So look, guys, if there is specifically anything on AH that comes out, you're going to know it. You're going to hear it from me specifically here probably in the next 2 weeks when I receive all the documents from the Australian government, because I will be poring over those. I will be going through them one by one, and I will bring you whatever information that I can. Okay? Short order cook. Petty bitch. Yep. She needs to get her fake nails from somewhere other than the dollar store. If she wants a specific look, then she should pick it out herself. Yeah, and look, I'm not going to lie. I mean, look, the first engagement ring that I got my wife, we discussed it, we looked it over it. I mean, we were engaged for a long time, so the first one wasn't exactly fitting. But, you know, we've upgraded a couple of times over the years as things have changed, as I've been able to afford something a little nicer for her, as, you know, as things have gone on. But she's never reacted like a fucking ungrateful cow. I mean, seriously, dude, chat's right. Fucking run. You normally just get bans for this end anyway. Tobias has created the ring BS that everyone believes in is more important to the relationship. Yeah. Honestly, burnt out on the turd. No, I can understand that. I hated my first ring too, was grateful, but thought it was ugly. Absolutely, Dickie. Yep, Judge A did the entire world a huge favour last week. Yep, I wholeheartedly agree with you. If that had just gone on and they'd had to do a retrial, I don't know that I would have had it in me. Trying on a surprise ring is weird though. Yeah. More to the point, that shit is just like right out there now as well. So, I mean, someone's going to tell the poor bastard. So whether or not she got tips on how to fix it and that sort of thing, surely one of her followers or friends or family members or whatever that sees that video is going to go, hey, dude, you might want to reconsider. Absolutely love my wedding ring. I've absolutely loved my wedding ring. It has sapphires. Lovely. Oh, God, Nick, really? Why are women's feet so small so they can stand closer to the sink while they're doing the dishes? Chrissy, wake up! The wedding ring is also going to be fitted better. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get on to the one that's going to make the blokes sort of cross their legs. Actually, it may well upset a few of the women as well, to be perfectly honest. Cosmetic surgeon settles legal claim after removing a teenager's labia. Melbourne cosmetic surgeon has settled the lawsuit filed by a former patient, then 13 after he removed her labia and clitoral hood. Dr. Ajua Granot practicing anymore, who still practices in Malvern East, I stand corrected, avoided a civil court trial after a significant financial settlement was agreed by the former patient. The professor of surgery and anatomy, Professor of Surgery and Anatomy, Mark Ashton, said the procedure should never have been performed on a 13-year-old girl. No shit, you think? Warning, graphic content. Trigger alert, people. Either have a cup of concrete or run away, and I shall see you later. Oh, God, he looks creepy, doesn't he? Surely that's not the. Oh yeah, that's actually him. Cosmetic surgeon. Jeez, that's a horrible photo. A Melbourne cosmetic surgeon has settled a lawsuit filed by a former patient who was left disfigured and psychologically traumatized after he removed her labia and clitoral hood when she was 13 years old. The doctor was served with Supreme Court writs in June 2021 that accused him of several counts of negligence, including a claim that the operation was inconsistent with the procedure consented to by the girl's mother. The writ also alleged the defendant left the operating theatre and approached the plaintiff's mother, showing her the labia and clitoral hood that he had removed from the plaintiff. Jesus! He avoided a civil court trial after a significant financial settlement was agreed by the former patient and her lawyers last month. The payment is the subject of a non-disclosure agreement and will be covered by an insurance company. For fuck's sake. The plaintiff's solicitor, Catherine Footner from Footner Wren Legal, declined to comment, as well she should have. The civil case against Granat has renewed calls for tougher regulation on the nation's booming cosmetic surgery industry, while also raises serious concerns about the suitability for such a procedure on a teenage girl. The girl's mother took her to see Granat because the teenager had concerns about the appearance of her vajayjay. They were advised by Granat that there was an abnormality in her labia minor, which could be corrected by a surgical procedure known as labiaplasty. His former patient, who is now aged 27 and studying to become a doctor, has told The Age that her body was irreparably damaged by the surgery at a Malvern East clinic in 2008. She said the financial settlement could never compensate her for the harm done. I don't have proper anatomy anymore. I don't have a labia minora, and he's made my clitoral hood to be barely nothing, and it's not functional. I can't even have a proper relationship. Oh. The woman, who asked not to be identified, said the risks of the procedure were never conveyed to her by the doctor. Children cannot understand how a surgery like this will affect them, even if it was properly explained. There's no way they could comprehend it. In 2019, a woman made a complaint to the Australian Health Practitioner Regulatory Agency, AHPRA, which cleared Grano of any wrongdoing in 2020. The 72-year-old cosmetic surgeon continues to practice from the same clinic? No. No surgeons over the age of 60 at most. No. Which spooks his 35 years of experience and extensive training on his website. He did not respond to requests for comment. According to a statement of defense filed by his lawyers in August last year, he denied he had acted negligently and claimed the operation had been performed to fix a physical abnormality. He also denied removing the girl's clitoral hood. I'm pretty sure she'd know the difference. He acted in a manner that, at the time of the service was provided, was widely accepted in Australia by a significant number of respected practitioners in the field as a competent professional practice in the circumstances. Fuck off. However, Mark Ashton, professor of surgery and anatomy at the University of Melbourne, said the procedure known as labiaplasty should never have been performed on a 13-year-old. How can any doctor believe that this is reasonable, and how can any regulator consider this to be an acceptable surgical practice? Ashton said he had been required to perform the corrective procedure on more than 25 patients who had previously been. He had to perform corrective procedures on more than 25 patients who'd previously been operated on by Granat. So this professor is having to fix 25 other people that this guy's fucked up. Nope. Yeah, it's live. Links in the chat if you want, Scott. We all know that the ladies love hearing your voice. So, given this is effectively lady stream, I see an endless stream of patients who are continually maimed by this small group of medical practitioners with basic and inadequate surgical training, and it's the regulator that should be on them, but they appear to be asleep at the wheel, said Ashton, a former president of the Australian Society of Plastic Surgeons. A spokeswoman for the Australian Health Practitioner Regulatory Agency declined to comment on its investigation of the labiaplasty by Granat in 2008. An AHPRA spokeswoman said the cosmetic surgery industry was currently subject to review, due to be completed next month. The review is looking at regulation of this rapidly growing industry and whether improvements are needed to improve patient safety. He was reprimanded by AHPRA in 2015 after he confirmed in an article published by the Sydney Morning Herald that he had conducted liposuction on three of his daughters, one of whom was then aged 17. Being a cosmetic surgeon means that I look at everyone through cosmetic surgeon's eyes. Yeah, you just want to slice and dice. If I go to the beach, I don't see women in bikinis. I see a collection of problems. Jesus! When I look at my daughters, I scrutinize them too, and I've carried up liposuction on 3 of them. Other patients avail their children of their area of expertise. My area is cosmetic surgery, so why shouldn't I do the same? Because it's unethical, and yeah. That's fucking horrible, dude. You should never have had kids. Arper accused the surgeon of breaking some fundamental tenets of good medical practice, but took no further action. Oh, great. So they're asleep at the wheel too. Um, yeah, scalpel happy. Yeah. Dr. Rannett is reprimanded for treating members of his family with liposuction surgery in circumstances which were not urgent or medically necessary, and where one of the patients was underage, they said in a statement. If you or anyone needs support, call Lifeline on 131 114 or Beyond Blue on 1300 24 636. Oh, fucking hell. All right, going back. Where are we? Test your relationship is one easy hack. Yep. Best money that guy ever spent. Time to back out the door very slowly and never come back. Yep. There's another side to this in that you're not going to know as a man aside from guessing what her sizes are. No, look, there are easier ways around guessing the size. I personally, you can do the trick where you, when they're asleep, if you get a piece of string, wrap it around very, very loosely. So you can take that for sizing. But mine is also sapphires. Love it, but can't wear it because I got the right. Oh, Vicky, I'm sorry to hear that. I haven't been able to wear it for years, sadly. Oh, put it on a chain. Wear it around your neck. She can use the diamond and. Oh, for fuck's sake. Don't know if I trust his sisters or mother to keep their mouth shut, but maybe that's just me. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Look in the mirror for your punchline. Oh, that's in response to that. Okay, fair enough. Hashtag Law Patrol. Look up this horrible story. Brazilian atheist accused of raping sedated woman during a C-section. His technique was Jesus. Okay, all right. Hang on. Oh, anesthetist, not atheist. Jesus, Brazilian anesthetist. I'm not tired. Anesthetist. C-section, really? I kind of feel like that particular area is going to be like occupied at that point. All right, I'll go with one from Kiwi's hometown just because it'll make things easier. What the hell is going on in these hospitals with their so-called medical professionals, for fuck's sake? Yeah, tell me about it. I'm so happy I don't work for ARPA anymore. They determined there was nothing to see here. Yeah. 72-year-old, yep. I wouldn't let children make decisions about cosmetic or sex-changing surgeries like that. Medical and mental risk is too high. Sounds like a common fundamentalism procedure to desensitize women and girls who sex genital. Crazy people out there that we put our trust in. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, Grimspa. How you doing? Wait, I went for a piss. Are we talking about female genital? Yeah, more or less. Currently destroying women's vaginas. Genital mutilation happens to men through circumcision too. Yep, okay. Just going through. This guy needs to seek therapy. Yep. You're going to sing a duet tonight with Kiwi for the sing-along. It depends whether or not I can get away with singing, because I'm going to have the wife and daughter home. So either way, I'll certainly be there making fun of him. Tweety, yeah, could have used my foreskin back. Oh, well, that boat sailed 62 years ago. Well, the point, Phil, you're just giving away your age. I didn't actually realise you were that old. Not that that's an issue. You still got a fantastic sense of humour. Get the feeling someone is scalpel happy. Run. Yep. Plastic surgery on teenagers needs to be banned. No, look, plastic surgery on teenagers can have appropriate uses, but I do think it needs to be medically necessary, and I do think you should have to have at least 2 medical opinions as to why it's necessary. I mean, if it's just a 16-year-old that wants bigger tits, she can fucking wait until she's an adult. If it's a guy that wants smaller tits, then, you know. At one time when we were having this flat injected into the bums to make them plumper. Oh, okay. Robin, how are you? Listening in to get caught up. Strap in. Maybe it's a broken glass effect. Sounds like a demon he needs to wrestle with. Yeah, quite possibly. If a doctor came at me about my daughter like this, I'd punch his fucking lights out, as would I. Muted. Boomer, back again. Muted, deaf again. Farron? Where's Farron? In Islamic countries, this is done when daughters are about to enter puberty without anesthetic and with knife and pliers. It's really horrific. Oh my god. Where are those practices far worse in Africa? Jesus. Oh, bite me, Tweety. Yeah, if it's a guy who wants more to see the dream. Yeah. The breast ends are more problematic given they're not done developing. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay. All right, so where's this thing about the Brazilian anaesthetist? Kind of wish people could just accept their damn bodies as they are. Yep. Oh, yes, trust you to weigh in on that, Tweety. Brazilian anaesthetist accused of sexual assaulting a woman during a C-section. What the fuck? A Brazilian anaesthetist faces grape charges after allegedly attacking a woman while she gave birth via cesarean section. 32-year-old Giovanni Quintella Bezerra was arrested on suspicion of grape after concerned colleagues filmed him orally raping a woman during a procedure in the hospital. Seriously? The woman reportedly told family she thought she was hallucinating during the attack. His colleagues set up a secret camera to film him, who had only recently completed his training when they became concerned about the amount of anesthetic he was delivering to patients. When they watched the video, they discovered the horrifying attack, which took place behind a surgical curtain as his colleagues worked to deliver the woman's child. Yeah, no, don't worry, Robin. Yeah. 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 Those colleagues now share concerns with that other women may have been attacked on the same day. While women are not fully sedated during most C-sections, the woman drugged by Bezerra reported being fully conscious. Never seen anything like it, said the police delegate. Health officials said the internal investigation, that's poorly worded, will take place and the hospital is providing full support to the victim. He's now being held in prison and faces a sentence of 8 to 15 years convicted. Is that really all? That is just horrifying. How the hell did that not come up at any point during his fucking bullshit of a training or whatever? Right, okay. Oive, I wanted bigger boobs when I was a teen, then they naturally got up to my double Ds. My size tends to fluctuate depending on exercise levels. Oh, yeah, I already saw that. Too right, Dickie, don't get me started on patriarchy and its toxic cultural tentacles. I am and have always been comfortable with my body. I'm not perfect, but comfortable in my own skin. That's a fabulous view to have, Chrissy, honestly. Congratulations. Nick, the cultural thing that follows the immigrants and then into the hospitals. You need to protect your kids from doctors who think they're doing your family a favor by destroying your daughter's body. Jesus. At Sharon Carpenter, patriarchy is a bit much. Guessing that you're a single, never married woman. Oh, Jesus, Tweety, play nice. I've had 2 C-sections, so this was incredibly disturbing. Sick motherfucker, absolutely. God gave me a great body. He was happy how he made it. That's good enough for me. Now I just have to maintain it. Let's be more exercise. The patriarchy. Yeah, fair enough. I had 3, but heaps of people there. It was truly horrific. Yeah, not disagreeing. Kind of avoiding that argument as implies that women don't have self-autonomy, which is straight up wrong. Yeah, yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a little while before I manage to wrap my head specifically around that one. Alrighty. Any new good tweets coming out? Okay. What am I doing? Oh, all right. Let's do. Where's my phone gone? Actually, where's the book gone? There we go. All right, we know what time it is. Oh, that's really messing around with the 4:56. All right, let's have a look. Not sure if I can sleep after that. Sorry, Sharon. Okay, so for today's Law of the Land, we have the creation of the European Union. In the last weeks of 1991, the Belavezar Accords sounded the death knell of the Soviet Union. 2 years later, the nations of Europe, once caught uneasily between the 2 superpowers of the Cold War, officially formed the European Union. With the Maastricht Treaty, establishing a long-sought united Europe and a much-wanted stability through the economic and political interdependence. Like the UK, a kingdom of countries, the EU is a supranational entity described conceptually as 3 pillars supporting a common institutional framework. One of the pillars represents the European community, a second signifies a common foreign and security policy, the third stands for cooperation in domestic affairs and justice, which includes issues relating to the movement of citizens within the EU's borders. In one of the most important changes, the EU established the euro as a common currency for financial markets and businesses, although the EU and the Eurozone remain separate areas because not all EU nations adopted the euro. Article 1 of the treaty specifies that one of the overarching principles that bind together the 28 sovereign nations sharing common economic and social policies in the form of the EU. This treaty marks a new stage in the process of creating an ever closer union amongst the peoples of Europe, in which decisions are taken as closely as possible to the citizen. Those decisions happen by means of different institutional arms that perform a variety of functions similar to those of the American executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government. The European Council, composed of the heads of the state of the member states, sets the general policy directions for the EU, although it does not engage in legislative activity. The European Commission, which represents the interests of the EU as a whole, proposes legislation, which is then considered and voted upon by the European Parliament, members elected directly by the citizens of the EU, and the Council or the Council of Ministers, which represents and provides a voice to the governments of the member states. Finally, the Court of Justice oversees the consistent interpretation and application of the EU laws across the member states. So basically, people just got sick and tired of being part of a single country, I suppose. Not sure I can go to sleep after that story. Apologies. But, you know, cup of concrete and all that. It's in the video opener. Of course, women have self-autonomy. The question is, should they? Oh, Jesus. You really are just shit staring now, aren't you? Your phone likes 456. Well, no, because it's set to avoid repeats, so. Seems the word patriarchy tends to be used by radical men hating bots. I use the word patriarchy. Fair enough. European Union ruined a lot of things. I miss the Italian lira. Okay. We surrendered our nation to people who don't give a fuck about us. The Open Society and its enemies by Popper comes to mind. I wonder why. G'day, British Yoga Dubai. How are you? The Euronation Union, lol, pissing in the face of every European. Oh, that's a bit funny. Alrighty, what else have we got? It was a fucking slow day for news, which is really annoying me. And I'm well aware that people are over and tired of the AH stuff. So I'm trying to find what I can do to keep you people entertained without resorting to video games. But even that's not necessarily entertaining for everyone. I do not care that Nick Kyrgios is on a sizzling beach getaway. Oh, okay. Teacher banned after offering to sell sex. Okay. We're getting somewhere. All right. Weird egg yolk trick that gives better sex. Okay. Blockstar shocks fans with real jobs. Don't really care about that. Just in, the US walk away. So apparently Biden has said the US won't walk away from the Middle East. And he has specifically told that to Arab leaders. Show Joe Biden falling off his bike. I probably should actually have that saved, shouldn't I? You know, Britt, what do you care about American politics? Everyone cares about American politics, mostly because until everyone else sort of gets their ears into gear, we kind of have to trust your military around the world. So now I want to watch the Devil's Rejects, you ask now. We all import our culture and hot button political issues from America. It's a real problem. Johto Clip Slam. All right, let's see if I can find it. Oh, no, that's a... Oh, how have you not got footage of that? Oh, there it is. That'll do. They've got that from various angles, which I think is hilarious as well. Share tab, falling off his bike. Where's the sound? Oh, for fruit tingle's sake.
Melbourne tradies are collecting some of the world's highest pay packets. Hitting the tools pays an average of $124 an hour, Australia's highest rate, and close to top dollar paid in both Europe and America.
They don't stop working even on week.
Morning.
Just trying to work out why I've got bloody information about tradies going
and as a result,
okay. Trying to work out what the hell that was. All right, that should work there. So now I should be able to, no, even that's, what the fuck. Outback Wi-Fi at it again. Yep, pretty much.
I never saw this. I saw only like the very end. I didn't realize how he fell off.
Oh, seriously? If you watch, he comes to a complete stop and then he falls sideways. That's what's so fucking funny about it. Stop.
But his foot gets caught in that cage on his pedal. That sucks. Nobody's there to catch him. Isn't there supposed to be like 7 people to catch bullets? There's no one to catch him.
Oh yeah, the video goes on. Like I don't know why they've stopped it there. I can't show the one on like the Washington Post or anything because I'm still fighting with them about stuff. But basically, like there's a whole like a massive people like just go straight on top of him, and like there's people pushing him away saying, "No, don't film this, all that sort of shit."
Oh man, he's kind of old for a bike though. I think.
Not disagreeing with you. All right, where are we? So yeah, thank you for joining us for what's effectively my version of Ladies' Night.
Nice.
Because look, after some of the stuff that I've seen over the last 24 hours, I thought it was important to be a little bit pro-feminine as opposed to, but yeah, Joe Faceplant. Yep. Oh, Nick, I'm not putting that one up. That's horrible.
I'm gonna have to go read the chats. What is Nick up to?
He basically said it's a shame that he didn't die.
I mean, it's a surprise, but no.
It's still mildly harsh, though. Alrighty. Teacher banned after offering to sell sex and posting racy snaps. A 31-year-old man has been banned from teaching after he offered to sell sex and posting raunchy pictures of himself online. A primary school teacher has been banned from the classroom after he offered to sell sex and post raunchy... okay, so he's in the UK. Thomas Hale, 31, who taught at St Columb Minor Academy near Newquay, Cornwall in the UK, was recently the subject of a teaching regulation agency disciplinary hearing. He was found to be guilty of posting or allowing to be displayed one or more inappropriate images of himself on the internet between February and July 2020. Of course, on the Sun. The hearing also ruled that he had posted or allowed to be posted one or more images, messages, or comments on the internet offering to sell services in the same period. Damn, I knew that teaching was a rough profession, but as far as side hustles go, there are easier things to do. G'day, Grimsby.
Hey, Graham.
Mr. Hale, who began working at the school on September 1, 2019 and was dismissed last summer, admitted the allegations and that his actions amounted to unacceptable professional conduct that may bring the profession into disrepute. Jesus, they like to use some fluffy language there.
Is this the guy?
I presume so. Oh,
no way.
He's got the full package here. Oh god, there you go, Megan.
So he was posting these to adults, or he was posting these to children?
It seems like it. No, I don't think it was ever posted to the kids. I think it's just a case of it was someone found out about it after the fact. I mean, there's been plenty of like teachers and professors and that sort of thing that I've seen in the news where they've had to resort to using this sort of thing as a side hustle to make ends meet during the bug and various other things.
It's illegal?
I don't think it's illegal. I think it's just that it's frowned upon.
That's too bad.
So
you need some water there.
Sorry?
I said Divinity, you need some water.
Yeah. Woo. Good morning, guys.
Members of the local authority first raised concerns on the 7th of July 2021 before he was dismissed on the 23rd of July. While the disciplinary panel was satisfied that his conduct fell significantly short of the standard expected, it said his actions fell towards the lower end of sexual misconduct. How the fuck is it any sort of misconduct? The panel said, whilst the panel had regard to the fact that there was no evidence presented that any pupils had seen or accessed the images online, the panel did consider that that as a teacher, he was likely to be viewed as a role model by pupils. The panel noted that while the website where Mr. Hale posted the images was restricted, the images also could have been accessed via a generic internet search, and one image contained his name. Consequently, the images were in the public domain, enabling any member of the public or pupil to have sight of them. Damn.
That's like old school teacher shit, like back in the day where your teacher couldn't like go out to the movies. Nobody could see you. She couldn't hang her laundry in her front yard on certain days. She had to wear pants or a dress or whatever.
The panel therefore concluded that his behavior would undoubtedly damage the public's perception of the teaching profession. Really? You think that the public perception of the teaching profession could get any worse? Let's be perfectly honest. You guys are making sure that they are significantly underpaid for what they do. And there were public interest factors to consider. It also found that the public confidence in teaching would be seriously weakened if conduct such as that found against Mr. Hale were not treated with the utmost seriousness when regulating the conduct of the profession. Again, if they were paid appropriately, if they were looked after and treated with the respect that they deserve as teachers, they wouldn't be feeling the need to do side hustles like this. Let's be perfectly honest.
I don't know. Some of our teachers are paid perfectly fine and they do weird shit on the side, like way worse than this.
Okay.
I mean, we had one teacher whenever I was in high school, freaking umpteen years ago. He was an actor of sorts. We'll just leave it at that.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So we all knew about it, but it's like, okay, whatever.
An actor. Oh,
yeah.
He was one. So did you guys ever see any of his work?
Some people saw his collection, we'll say.
See you, Vicky. Oh, that's funny. Where are they? It also found that the public's confidence. Read that. While the panel noted Mr. Hale's remorse, it prohibited him from teaching indefinitely. Positive references had been submitted to the panel, but these were only relevant to his job application at the school, and no new references had been provided since his misconduct. In conclusion, the panel said that there was little evidence to suggest that his contribution to the profession had been long-term or significant. Ouch! That's the yardstick. So it's okay if you've been teaching for 30 years and you're whipping it out on camera, but oh no, you're a new teacher. You can go off and do other things. What the fuck?
Wow. Yeah.
The ruling means he cannot teach in any school, sixth form, college, relevant youth accommodation, or children's home in England. Great. So now he's going to have to emigrate. He is able to apply for the prohibition order to be set aside on July 5, 2024, 2 years from the date of the order. In order for him to return to teaching, he must prove to another teaching regulation agency panel that he is fit to do so. Oh God! So can you imagine the continuing professional development that he's got to?
Is like prostitution completely illegal there? Is that the whole thing also?
So
That's actually a good question.
Because he was trying to sell sex. It wasn't just the racy pics. Like half of me was like, well, I mean, come on, he should be able to do sexy stuff. But to sell sex, I guess, elevates it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole different can of worms. I thought he just posted some pictures online and people were like, oh no, this guy posted pictures, cancel. But he's trying to like solicit, then I mean it makes sense.
Apparently it's a very legal grey area aside from Northern Ireland where it's completely illegal. The selling of sex is technically legal. There are plenty of related activities which are not, meaning that the system of partial criminalization is in place. So yeah, interesting.
Short order cook one said, I don't think it's illegal, it's decriminalized.
Well, then that makes it even that much stranger because you would think
sex work is real work. Of course it is, Nick. Now, a lot of you guys were chatty fuckers while I was reading that. What have we got? Frustrated wannabe model.
Okay, here's the question. So at first, when you first pulled this up, I thought it was that lady, and I was like, "Damn, there's no teachers offering to sell sex like that." And then I found out it was the guy, and it just made the story seem different.
This chick was in the news here in Australia. They've put that in because she's a South Australian teacher that was basically caught doing the same thing, except it was in relation to an 18-year-old kid who was technically her student. So she's technically still going to cop alleged child sex offences, but yeah, there's plenty of comments about where the fuck were these women when we were in school, sort of thing. Which on the one hand, majorly disappointed that people are still saying that. On the other hand, true,
yeah.
So
well, it's still disgusting. There's a woman teacher from the high school that's here, just like maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, that was fired because she was having relations with her students. Like, they were driving her car, they were coming and going, like it was an open secret. I know. And she was married, and so she lost her credential, and now she works at the bank, one of our banks. And I'm always like, if you guys knew that this was a child molester, just because it's a girl and just because the kids were 15, 16, where they were probably doing sex anyways, she's still a child molester. She was still a grown-ass woman attracted to these children. Ugh.
Yeah,
it's gross.
Sharon says he probably had an OnlyFans, totally his own business, in my opinion. If you're comfortable to do that, go for it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when it's like something you have to pay for. There's some kind of. They said that
there's a paywall. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but they ruled like his was a private thing, anyways. But they said, a savvy kid probably could have still searched him out. Yeah. Same with OnlyFans too, though.
That is very true. Paige, he should switch careers and be in the fireman calendar.
Yeah.
And the other teachers are just jealous that he's that ripped. Yeah, no, fair enough.
I wonder who turned him in, like a parent or something?
Probably would have been a jealous parent, basically. I'm gathering it was either a guy that caught his wife looking at OnlyFans and saying, "Oh yeah, it's fine. It's just a parent-teacher conference," or someone else who was quite. What's that? Look, it looks like an underwear ad. I'm just having coffee with a bit of underwear watching. Lol, my goodness. As a teacher, that's not appropriate in my opinion. Our students are online. Fair enough, Robin.
That's
fair
true.
Enough.
Yeah, now students really are online. But so what? Like, to think that your teacher, I guess because it's selling sex. I keep coming. If it's selling sex, that is a little bit more.
Wait. So are they saying selling sex as in sex sells, or are they saying prostitution? Right? That's why I hate English, because it can be interpreted multiple ways. I hate this language, right?
No, my understanding is that he offered to sell sex, which is the UK's version of prostitution. They don't strictly necessarily use that as language. I think their legislation specifically says engaging in the act to sell sex. So selling the actual act of engaging in sex.
Oh, all right. So it's coitus, basically, is what you're trying to do. Okay. Yeah, because I mean... Yeah.
He was trying to make a bit of extra money on the side, basically just big-glowing it.
Yeah, fair.
So, because he got old and chubby, he wasn't bothered looking body about. That's not nice. But he could work in a school as a technician because apparently that makes sense. Don't know if that's accurate, actually. Where are we? Damn, I'm not used to having these many chats. Usually I go one by one through my chats because I'd like to give everyone the opportunity. But guys, if there's anything specifically out there, you're either going to have to switch to supers or at least type super chat in your comments so I can see that you really want to read out and it's not just part of the conversation.
Parla.
It's normally women in the US getting caught up as teachers doing this. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems to be something about the most recent generation.
I don't know. Back in high school, we had a teacher who, right after I graduated, he was always real friendly with a couple of the students. But after we graduated, they both turned 18, and turns out the three of them went and had a foyer after the graduation. And it's like, well, nothing happened before, but it was after. But he still got in major trouble for it.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, there was legislation coming in a little while ago that it was on the books that teachers couldn't have relations with students for at least 2 years after they've graduated, just to try and give that buffer zone. So
yeah.
I thought banks were super strict on background checks, like we need the 5-year clear history in the UK. Interesting. Whoa, Nick's just trying to stir people up. Pay teachers less, they're glorified babysitters. Nick, I'm starting to feel like your teachers may have failed you. Don't go projecting that on everyone else.
I think that during the pandemic, the teachers called themselves that. The parents saying that the parents just wanted to use them as babysitters.
I think that's an unfortunate situation. I do think that the whole homeschooling and that sort of thing did cause quite a bit of a ruckus here. I mean, you did see people that were basically getting a glimpse into what their schooling life was actually. I mean, I remember seeing footage of someone who their kid was sitting in class and they were paying attention and whatnot, but they realized that the laptop was going to fail. So they turned around to go and pick up the charger, and the teacher at the time like snapped at them and said that they were, to pay attention and all this sort of shit. And then the teacher got really embarrassed because the parent has just said over the phone, over the channel, "Fine, face front, just let the laptop die." And the teacher went, "Oh shit!" So there's actually parents that are actually keeping an eye on what I'm doing here, which I think was necessary, frankly.
Yeah. I loved it. My kid hated it. He's like, "Just go away." I'm like, "Don't tell him I'm here. I want to listen."
Paying for sex is beta. Getting paid for sex is alpha as fuck. Oh, my apologies. I should very much introduce. Divinity, Grims, you want to specify? I'm a terrible host.
I'm Divinity. I'm Divinity Said. I do LawTube clips on my channel and also talk about Jesus a lot. So you should subscribe.
Hey, I'm Grimsbar. I'm just a shitlord. That's it. If you want to see me making fun of people and give people a hard time, go on, check it out. Better than that. That's it.
Fair enough. Nice covering description. Phil says, Tweety, a number of people without class today is astounding. It's like no one thinks about other people having or coming from families anymore. Never cross boundaries with students. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, Jesus. Gene, sorry, I only just saw that. Thank you for the super chat. Although we did just answer that, so thank you very much.
Hi, Gene. I'm Divinity.
Crystal's in the chat. Hello. So we got a lot of the regulars, which is lovely to see. Even if that's true, there is 16 to 20 kids at the time. That alone earns them money. I'm gonna say you meant to say option there, Lumbry Dragon. Excellent point. I was teaching as a paid hobby technically. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm not sure where you live. However, teachers are really not paid enough for what they've had to put up with in school. Yeah, no, honestly. It's one of those things where it's like they just do not. Teachers deserve a lot more respect than they currently get. But I do think that's as a whole. I think there's various professions that have copped that. So teachers, lawyers, doctors. They're the professions that once upon a time they were considered respected. They were the ones where you wanted to get into them for the prestige, for the whatever you want to call it. And I'm not tooting my own horn here. I'm just saying there was a certain status attached to those things. And it seems to have swung that far back on the other side of the pendulum that people are happy to take pot shots at those professions and be derogatory about them. Don't get me wrong. I'm well aware that there are assholes in there that are bad apples. But at the same time, because we have encouraged that derogatory sentiment, that's why we're not seeing great teachers. That's why we're not seeing well-educated lawyers. That's why we're seeing a need here in Australia, at least, for us to be importing doctors and other physicians from overseas. Anyway, rant over.
Yep. I'm outside, so my audio is being crap. Let me know. I'll just be myself.
No.
So the thing is, right, you got to think of it this way. Between, 12 and like 18, I think 12 to 17, like the front part of your brain's getting rewired. So you can't recognize faces. There's a whole bunch of things that are wrong. And if you look at the definition of like a psychopath, that age group fits it. So as an adult, imagine that you go and you have to sit down and teach psychopaths, literal psychopaths, 25 plus of them for 8 hours a day, and have them listen to you, and have them respect you, and have them learn. That is just crazy to me. That's why whenever I was going to become a teacher, I was like, no, I'm not dealing with them. But no. I just backed out of that. I'm not doing that one.
Yeah.
Not
No.
kids anyway.
What's that? And still don't invite Scott. I'm still mad at him. You'll be right, Megan. You'll get over it.
Yep.
I never knew that teaching.
Yep, sorry.
I never knew teaching was considered one of the prestige professions.
Oh yeah.
It was back in like the day. I mean, we're talking hundreds of years ago, to be honest. It's one of the first ones that sort of went downhill. But yeah, I'm trying to think what the turning point would have been. But I suppose, yeah, at the time, back when people were living in poverty and that sort of thing, any vocation was really considered of a certain prestige. But
well, I mean, it used to be back in the day, right? Like only so many, like most people couldn't even read or write.
Mm-hmm.
And so public schools were made so people could at least read and write. And then it went from that to, hey, we need to have them, to where they can do certain jobs, manual labor, things like that, and understand and follow orders. And then it went from that to, hey, everybody needs to come out and go to college. And it's like, why? There's the way it's set up right now is too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Everybody thinks like their shit's gold, and that and if you go back, the majority of people never even went to college, never even had these so just to say like we should expect everyone to do that today is kind of crazy. And I think a lot of like the vocational programs, things like that, to give people trade skills, that's really important. And we really need to lean on that. Even though it's not as prestigious, it's necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. One of the major things here has been a push for people to move into the trades and that sort of thing. I mean, we sort of had that over the last decade, here, at least here in Victoria, where TAFE was subsidised and all that sort of thing because we needed the trades to be bolstered. I mean, it's not necessarily in the same category as a trade, but nursing's always been a big one here as well. And just getting people into those areas, we've never really had the balance of it. So it's either there's not enough people in there or there's too many, and then you see it going vocation by vocation. And by the time the next generation of students comes through and they're moving into that particular area, it's another sector that's overflooded, or it's another sector that's in desperate need. So they really do need to sort of do a better forward planning setup, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and this is something that I noticed whenever I went through tech school and stuff in the service, right? Because you take a test, an aptitude test. They say, okay, you're really good at learning this kind of thing, that kind of thing. Here's your scoring. Here's how you do percentile wise. And now you can go into these different fields. And we need people in these different fields. What I think is interesting about that is if you take that and translate that into the free market, imagine you had a place where you went to work and they said, hey, you come here, you do this, and then we're going to train you on these tasks, right? And we need this niche field, and you've been selected because you tested however much out of these people. So you take that and put it into the free market. Now you have a system where businesses are training people. Let's say you had to go under contract, right? But you would get a set of skill sets. You would be able to really progress, and there's not a major flood, right? So if there's a need in the market should, in my opinion, offer you the training under contract, and you do that, and then it kind of solves that issue. Because if you need more people in a certain area, you can train them, and it just allows for growth. Because right now it's all top down instead of emergent, and that's the thing about societies, is that it's emergent. And so to say that there's some top-down, government official is going to say, hey, this is what we got to do. We got to push people into this and that. No. Let the market do it. Maybe subsidize those kind of programs where you can train people. But
what is the market? The market is just the business owners?
Yeah, it's just the free market. People can.
But the free market
for themselves.
But you said the free market should train for something.
Yeah, so like for example, right? If I had it's an incentive, right? So let's say I had a a lawn mowing business, and the lawn mowing business, they were getting a whole bunch of wear and tear, and it just cost a lot for maintenance. So what I would do is hire someone, and then have them get trained on how to do that kind of maintenance. And so they would come in under contract, they would learn how to do that, and then they would end up performing that task, and then they would get like some kind of certifications or some kind of private accrediting, right? Which does exist when you look at like IT, right? A lot of that accreditation that happens in the IT industry is private. It's not government at all. And they say, hey, we want these certain certifications. It's like, okay, you go and you get a job there, and you take the certifications, and then you're good to go. And then when you go somewhere else, it's basically the baseline where if you have those certifications, you can now go somewhere else. You can use that, right?
But the certifications or the requirements are set by the market and not by the government. The market says, or whatever. Okay, the industry is setting it.
Exactly.
Yeah, for example, I mean, there was a chat here before, which I had started from Shade Chaser. Didn't Arizona just drop the requirement for a college degree to be able to teach? And I've just had a look, and yes, they have removed the requirements. So in terms of, what was this, 5 days ago, Arizona Governor Doug Ducey has signed legislation that allows people to teach in public schools without a college degree. So exactly.
It's like substitute teachers.
Yeah, that's sort of what it feels like.
Well, I mean, that same thing exists, and like I'm just going to keep going back to it, but in the service, right? You go and you learn your career field. You do really well. You get selected to go to the training group. You go to the training group. You get the courseware. You learn how to teach it, and then from that point forward, you're doing instruction, and that's how it goes.
Well, the military just dropped the requirement for high school graduation because of that, because they're going to train you anyways.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if it's only because of that, but that's one of the reasons.
Well, I mean, I mean, I think it's one of those things where I think they may have added it after the fact, because before most people didn't actually graduate, but we still had armies. So come on now. Like,
well, how many people are like, I joined when I was 17. They're like, okay, so they didn't check your birthday either.
Yep. But at that point, it's like, I think, oh, there's a wasp. I'm going to walk away and get off the mic for a second.
Murder hornets.
What was that? Crystal turning point would have been once it became the majority of women teachers. Okay, presumably that's in relation to the prestige of teaching. Yeah, look, I can understand your thoughts on that. I would hope that was not necessarily the case, because, I mean, the whole way through school, for the most part, I had female teachers, let's be perfectly honest. And that to me didn't mean that I disrespected them in any more way, shape, or form. If anything, I clashed more with the male teachers, I'll be perfectly honest. So,
but I wonder if it was prestige when education was considered a commodity, and the wealthy people who were educated, and so it was like something like that. And now everyone's educated, it's mandated. So now it's like, okay, well, it's no different. So I wonder if that kind of brought down the.
You're probably not wrong, honestly. I think once education was available to the masses and it wasn't considered something, once it wasn't considered a privilege, then I think you're probably right on that.
Scarcity drives value.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hundreds of years, like the 60s, my brother was a teacher in the country. He became a headmaster and then was advisor for the education department. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Being a college professor has always been an esteemed career. School teacher, not so much. Yeah, which I'm not sure I understand completely, because, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie, specifically here in law as well, I'm going to have to be careful and dance around what I'm going to say here. But a number of law professors, in my opinion, could stand to spend some time working in the field. A lot of them follow the adage, if you can't do, you teach. So,
yeah, I mean, that's, you always have to pull at least 2 pro shifts a month to stay current.
Oh, really?
In what I was doing, yeah. You had to pull 2 pro shifts a month just to stay current. And if you didn't pull the pro shifts, you went in CMR, non-combat mission ready, and then you could no longer teach or pull shifts. So if you didn't do that, you were yoinked.
What did you just say?
Non-CMR, combat mission ready.
What is a pro shift?
A proficiency shift. Sorry. So you have to. Okay, so if you're a teacher, okay, you have to go do the job 2 days a month to stay proficient.
Okay, so like if you're a PE teacher, you have to go run.
I would say, like, I don't know, if you're an electronics teacher, you have to go work 2 days a month, building.
Oh, in the field. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. Tweety said, historically, women infiltrating a profession starts the degradation of the profession, unfortunately. Yeah, look,
is that actually historically true? Because I'm pretty sure when the women started entering like things that they actually got better. The safety standards got better, the hours got lesser, the kids started moving out because women don't put up with the bullshit.
That's true.
That's very true. I think it's more in terms of, what do you call it? Like patriarchal ego probably played a hell of a lot into it. So,
well, I mean, what about the buttons in World War II, right? Because you had to make so many buttons a day and got paid per button, and the females turned around and found a way to really crank out the number, and instead of going cost per button, they went to hourly because they were just completely knocking them out. And yeah, I remember that.
I'm just trying to sort through some of this because some of this is just nursing didn't have to have a tertiary qualification until the 70s. Neither did the police nor teachers, etc. There were specialist schools, academies for this. The requirements were minimal. Interesting. Makes a certain amount of sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for people being able to, like. I like apprenticeship programs. I would be happy if it was properly set up so that I could, there you go, Crystal, they do that. It's called apprenticeships.
Yep.
I'd be happy if they were able to do that, in particular in my industry. I'll be perfectly honest. I went through 5 years of university to study law. When I came out of that, everything I learnt was on the job. So everything that they taught me was substantive, all this sort of stuff. But the skills that I learnt, the practical application of what I needed to do, all that sort of stuff. I spent 3 years initially working as a law clerk in a small regional firm. I learnt more in those 3 years than I did my entire degree. So I genuinely think on-the-job training is incredibly important, and that seems to be something that they're removing specifically from our training sectors here in Australia, because at least here in Victoria, if you go and do a law degree, they expect all the practical application to be learnt either once you graduate and you go and do what's called supervised workplace training, which is working under a lawyer for a year, or you go and do practical legal training, which is a 6-month course at an academy where they teach you the practical aspects. As far as I'm concerned, that should all be condensed. So, anyway.
Well, a lot of people don't know. Since you're talking about like the 5 years of schooling, here in America, you can actually become a licensed attorney without even having to go to law school.
That's reading the law, isn't it?
Well, if basically you would work in a firm for like 4 years.
Yep.
So you'd work in the firm for 4 years, and then you could and if you pass the bar, you get licensed.
Yes.
But it's hands-on the whole time. Instead of actually having to pay to go to university, you're working in that capacity. And it's a program that a lot of people don't know about. I thought
Kim
it was
Kardashian did it? Is that what Kim did?
Oh, I have no idea.
I really hope not.
I'm pretty sure that she didn't have to go. Oh, I'm throwing away a golf ball.
Hang on. Oh God, I hate the woman for what she's done in this profession. But
I'm pretty sure that Kim Kardashian is becoming a lawyer by not going to law school. She's just studying under lawyer or something in California.
Yeah.
She passed the baby bar. I don't really pay attention to her, so I'm not really sure. But
no, that's fair enough. If I could have a Chrome extension that would remove her from my webpage every time she popped up, I'd be very happy. She passed the baby bar law exam after 3 failed attempts, but received a near perfect score after the last one, according to episode 6 of The Kardashians. Oh, God. Shows her finding out that she helped secure mercy for Julius Johns, convicted of a 1999 murder, blah, blah. During the start of the episode, she meets with Scott Brodnick, founder of the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. I don't want to have to read through all of this.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read through all of this. But yeah, I don't want to have to read th come on, that's not the reason why I clicked on this article.
But it seems like she's doing all her work from home, so I wonder if that's...
Yeah, well, they mentioned the reason I opened this is because they mentioned that she had to do 18 hours of work a week or something. So I was curious as to how that actually meant.
18 hours a week, so 3 hours at the firm a day.
No, so she's not studying law. She's going to be reading the law. Complete timeline of the courses through L. All right. Announced she's going to become a lawyer. Kim Kardashian announced she was starting a 4-year law apprenticeship in May 2019. Of course, she never does things by half, so she spilled the beans via a Vogue cover. Shock horror. She wanted as much publicity for it as she could. The reality star was quick to reiterate that she wasn't going to law school as such, but rather was reading the law. In California, where she's studying, a student is not required to have an undergraduate degree in order to become a lawyer, but they do have to pass the baby bar exam, which is the route that she took. Okay. So, yeah.
So she's actually a lawyer right now?
Let me look. She passed the baby bar. I don't know that she's... What's next? The reality star will now have to sit another exam before she can move forward with her career in law. So she still needs to pass the actual bar, I think. When was this? This was...
But do you think people really hire Kim Kardashian, or just like, why would you?
Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, she's an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I mean, that's important because a lot of times, like, the reason why you hire lawyers is to keep you out of trouble. And if she's an entrepreneur and she's wanting to do these things, right?
Yeah, but see, here's the scariest thing. So one adage that I've always led by is that the scariest thing that you don't know is what you don't know. So if she's purely doing this on the basis of reading the law so that she can work on her own projects, she'd be a fool, honestly. Yeah. Any lawyer that represents themselves is a fool for a client. You need to have someone looking over your shoulder in those instances to make sure that everything you are doing is appropriate and accurate. I think maybe she's just doing it to try and give herself a little more credibility in the business space, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, maybe so when her kids ask her what she's famous for, she doesn't have to say what she's famous for.
Well, I mean, what was her father famous for, right? I mean, she comes from a lawyer family.
That is true.
Yeah. But he's famous for the OJ thing. But what would you go to Kim for? Somebody who hasn't gone to law school, who's doing like activism for her thing. But I wonder if activism is her thing and she just wants to also be a lawyer because she can.
Well, I mean, if you're doing activism, right, and you're trying to form arguments, having that kind of lawyer expertise, or that under your belt, is huge. Yeah. It's huge when being able to form arguments. So, I mean, it makes total sense to me. Like, yeah, I get it.
But you're saying lawyer expertise. I feel like that's something that comes from being a lawyer, not just getting your credential.
Well, I'm saying like understanding what's going on. Because if you're working in activism, understanding the law, at least at a bare minimum, understanding it is going to be an extreme leg up.
When you're
going against somebody else who has no idea.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean,
that makes sense. But to hire her, I wonder. And you're right. I didn't really consider that her dad was
according to Crystal, KLM said it was for the activism. So
okay,
then that validates the. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a certain amount of sense then. Yeah, I mean, look, provided she's studying the right things while she's actually working under somebody, then good on her. If it's purely so that she can get the skills that she needs to be able to understand and interpret the legislation, fill out forms for activism, all that sort of thing, good on her, honestly. Yeah. But yes, as long as she's not acting on her own stuff in terms of like her own businesses or her family's businesses or anything like that, because I can see that being a massive red flag and issue, honestly. Yeah. Where are we? Just going through some of these chats.
Hello, David G. How are you doing?
SG, what did you do? I only saw part of that. In the early 2000s, the requirement to become a teacher were ridiculous in the US. Not sure the US restrictions now. Okay, fair enough. It's only 300 seconds. He'll be back as annoying as ever. See, this is why I like having you around, SG.
Have a good night, SG.
Oh, is she heading off? I'm really going to get to the bottom of these
SG
chats.
said good night, Gene, and goodbye, everyone. Yep.
2:45. Fair enough. Have a good night. See ya. David G, hello. if the gender pay, oh look, he's back already. Damn, that's how far behind in chats was. If the gender pay gap was real, the entire workforce would be women. No, not necessarily, Nicholas. That's I disciplined a very naughty boy. No, because at the same time, if that was the case, then business employers would be putting on as many women as they could to inflate the salaries of the males. So, just my 2 cents on the matter, honestly. Problem is, American wages have only increased 26%, while cost of living has gone up 114% during the last 30 years. Same years as society lost reverence for trades and idolized celebrities. Yeah, Paige, honestly, not going to disagree with you in the slightest on that. I think that if we were to take the fact that minimum wage needs to be increased. I mean, look, it's controversial to say it, but let's face it, minimum wage should entitle you to at least cover 50% of a family's expenses, because everyone deserves to have a roof over their heads. If minimum wage can't cover that as a basis between two incomes, there's major issues. And I don't know whether or not that's an issue. I don't know what the minimum wage is in America at the moment. Simple fact of the matter is inflation here has gone up by about 5% for the year. So cost of living's gone up 5% in the last year. Thankfully, since we've had our change in government, the minimum wage has been attributed to go up another further 5% to try and match that. There's still a little bit more work to do on that, because they're still going to be running behind at a deficit in terms of what the minimum wage can cover and what it can't. I mean, rent here in Melbourne, so I mean, where we are, for example, we're looking at $400 a week, so $1,600 a month. That's over half the income that basically comes in to most households, basically. So,
cut red tape.
Exactly.
Right, because what you have right now, I actually am against raising the minimum wage, and here's why.
Okay.
So you're saying, okay, so at least raising the minimum wage for people to be able to afford houses, right? So what you have right now are all these regulations, red tape. I think in California, it's something like 10 to 15 years from when you buy the land to when you can actually break ground to build. Okay. Now, if you add that with the population growth rates and immigration policies, all kinds of stuff, what you end up with are too many houses and not enough people. And so all of this red tape, regulations, everything on building a home is the problem. Now, with that being said, you're going to have major lobbyist groups, specifically these firms that are buying up properties. Hey, we'll give you cash for your house today. All that crap. They will lobby against reducing red tape, because that will reduce the equity they have in the properties. But if you want to house people and allow people to live at a reduced cost, you're going to have to lift red tape. You're going to have to, or at a minimum, drastically increase the number of people who are going through and doing the licenses and stuff.
Wait, but it doesn't take 15 years or even 10 years to build a house here.
Yeah, no, we can have one up in 12 weeks.
Yeah, but I'm saying talking red tape, as far as building, it's expensive and takes a long time.
Well, my girlfriend just bought the land and got her house. It took less than a year to get everything completed.
Hold on one second. Maybe I'm conflating that with businesses. Hold on.
Oh, businesses? I'll give you that. Businesses, red tape is really fucked here. They just don't want small businesses in California, but it's pretty simple to if you have the money. And she's not super rich, but she, bought her land, designed her house, and had it built, and she's living in it now. When there was no house there 2 years ago.
Let's see here. Yeah, let me double check that, because maybe some stuff's changed. I know back in 2014 that was the deal. So let me mute myself, and then I'll go do some research real quick.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why does it keep muting me? Oh, strange. And Madcore, I tried to actually answer your question in the chat earlier as well about the PayPal and what the details are. Oh, fuck off, Nick. It wasn't me. For some reason, I can't send it in the chat. We got so what was this? The Tugs and Farron's videos were taken down, were they? I should go and have a look. Surely there'll be something on the tweets about that, surely. In the meantime, what else have we got? Sorry, so you're talking predominantly female industry. Okay, that's just chat between the chat. That's fine. Look, for example, at rail, I'm one of less than 20% of the rail industry, 10% in my jobs, so paid very well. Then look at, say, nursing, teaching jobs in aged care where mostly women. Yeah, no, look, that's fair. I want the poverty line raised more than I want the minimum wage increased. Yeah. Gender pay gap was started because men were originally the sole income source. Women were normally raising kids. Yeah, that's actually getting a little bit heavy for my brain right at the second. Record. I'm just going to search. Okay. When women did work, it was seen as pocket money, as either husband earned or dad did. Oh, Jesus. Zillow is buying houses like a kid stealing candy. And prefab homes are a thing in 2020. Yeah. And I mean, oh, actually, while we're at it, so I'd love to get your opinions on these. Have you seen these things like, what are they called? Like the shipping container houses or the tiny homes and that sort of thing?
Yes, I was looking into that back in 2016. There's some Amish folks over here who actually build the tiny homes. And
really?
I think, yeah, and it's like 14 to 18,000 for like a bedroom log cabin. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really not bad.
Do you think you could do it though? Live in a tiny home that's basically the size of a trailer for however long? I mean, did you see it as a long-term thing?
So what I was looking at actually doing was, well, it was a whole business idea, right? So I was going to go get my VA loan, buy a bunch of buy some land, like basically set it up, and then drop a whole bunch of those tiny homes, just rent them out. Right now in the local area, I mean, you're talking like $1,200 for rent, right? And it's like, well, if I can do this for a tiny home and turn around and I could close and start making profit after 5 years and put it out for rent for even 60% of market price, that's an absolute steal for them and for me, and it would be great for help reducing the cost of houses in the local area.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I'm just replying to one of my mods. Just give me a second.
I don't know if I could live in one. I like them. I think that they're cute. I think it'd be fun to like try it for a week or a weekend, but I don't think I like stuff too much. I don't think I could minimize.
Well, you never lived in I lived in a camper for a year and a half while I was in the service to collect that BAH. Like, nice. Yeah, you do what you gotta do.
Right. Well, I feel like that's a little bit different for my house, for my permanent where I own and live. I don't think I could do that.
Oh yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I like it though. Some of them, they turn out so cute, but then some of them, I'm like, yeah. I'd want my tiny house if I had to do it to be movable. Some of them, it's like they're giant, they're heavy, it's really going to its last place, where it's never going to move again.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the the tiny homes that, like I was saying, the Amish folks build, basically put down the slab, set everything up, drop the house on it, and you're looking at about 50 grand per house for those, like a 2-bedroom, which is freaking
That's not
crazy
bad.
good. Oh, that's
Yeah.
insanely good. And so, with everybody minimizing right now, and with everything shrinking down, I mean, if we look back in time, the houses were much smaller. You guys ever go into a house that was built in like 1905, right?
Yeah.
The stairs are super short, or super short, right? The walls, the ceilings down, but it's just what you need, right? And so I think returning to something like that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, if people want to, say, just have their security, right?
Yeah, no, look, I agree with you. And I think it's the same sort of thing that I've come back to with here, specifically here in Melbourne. I'm very much of the opinion that the land is basically, I mean, Melbourne's sort of growing and growing and growing. Let's face it. That's what happens with cities. Eventually, new suburbs pop up, all that sort of thing. The whole thing about the Australian dream, having a nice big backyard so you can play cricket in the backyard, kick your footy around, that sort of thing. I think we've got to a point where that's become unattainable for a lot of people. And specifically, if you're going to be within a certain vicinity of the Melbourne CBD, people need to understand that you're giving that up, and we're going to have to build up as opposed to out. The whole having a half acre, quarter acre, whatever, I do think that's becoming more of a pipe dream. Unfortunately, that's an unpopular opinion, I know, but we need to be able to. If you're going to live in Melbourne specifically, I do think we need to learn to live with less. Unfortunately, I'm not saying that we all need to live in a capsule hotel without pets, without enough room to feel like we have our own home. But it might be that we don't have the big backyard, we don't have the giant park or the footy oval down the road and things like that. If you want that, you're going to have to start understanding that we're going to have to move certain industries out of the CBD. They've sort of done that with Geelong. So they've taken various government agencies and they've moved them from the Melbourne CBD down to Geelong. And as a result, now we're seeing high-rise buildings being built down there. We're seeing development of the Geelong CBD. So Geelong's basically the second biggest city in Victoria. But even it now is going through this massive development phase because we're having to move certain industries out of the Melbourne CBD. And what I'm seeing is a lot of developers are going, okay, well, maybe we need to be building larger properties in terms of apartments, in terms of higher density, basically. And people seem to be very resistant to that. So much so that they're willing to have to travel and commute 2 hours to get to their jobs each way, I should say. So 2 hours of a morning, 2 hours of an evening, because they want that space in that backyard. And I think that's just putting so much stress in it.
Well, I think, I mean, let's look at zoning here, right? So you have all these people who are wanting to travel to go get employment. Why not make businesses out in the suburbs and out in the rural areas, right? Place your stuff there so that people don't have to travel as far. And now you're filling a niche, and you're it's the urban sprawl kind of deal, right?
Yes.
So if you can kind of stay on the edge of the as things are expanding outwards, there's some really good opportunities, like entrepreneurially. Oh my God.
Entrepreneurially.
Thank you. Can't talk. But to our point earlier, Divinity, yeah, you're correct. Sorry, it was typically about 2 years to build, but then when you get to getting somebody in the house and then coming up and hitting, being able to pay off that to where you start actually making profit, that's when you hit the 10-year mark. So sorry about that. I was flipped up. Yeah, sorry about that.
Fair enough. I agree that pay gap between men and women. The only thing that I took issue with is how many men or women are in the industry says anything about how the gap exists. No, fair enough. So that's you pair going back and forwards. It's fine. I don't need to worry about that. Do you think high population per square mile leads to increased neurotic behavior? Absolutely. Yeah. Very much so. When you have a certain number of people crammed into a very small area, it's always going to have an impact on people's mental well-being. That's just the long and the short of it. Sorry, did either of you have any thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I concur.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so have you guys seen the Mouse City experiment? You know about that?
I think I vaguely heard about that. Mouse City.
Ooh, lag spiking. Do you guys hear that? Or is that just me?
I heard it.
Oh, there's a lag going through. Okay, hang on. Let me see what I can do about that.
All right.
What exactly is going on there? What is that?
Yeah, it sounds like you're talking through a box fan.
Oh, yeah, no, oh, right. Okay, hang on. I haven't got my... There we go. My laptop decided to work extra hard because I hadn't got the fan stand going.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully that should chill out in a minute. I'll just move the mic away because the noise gate should have cancelled that out, but doesn't appear to have. All right, where are we?
Yeah, it
Okay,
sounds
so
like a processor glitch.
There you go. It's quieting down now. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment, but feel wealthy because I have 14-foot ceilings and windows floor to ceiling. It makes a huge difference. Fair enough. I suppose having that open view does sort of make it a little bit more of a open plan to it, I suppose. Weird microphone glitch. Okay, so this is just going to fall over on me too, I would think. Robo. Hey T, how are you doing? We are the Borg resistance is futile. Jesus, not really that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, hang on. Let me see if I can close some more of these tabs then. That's fine. Alright, that sounds like a flappy fish. Oh, very funny, Tweety. Speaking of which, I'll probably start to get into some of the more controversial stuff, guys. So, I mean, I don't want anyone feeling uncomfortable. So, it's up to you if you stick around. If you feel the need to duck out, don't feel pressure to stick around. Okay.
Okay.
Where are we? So, moving back into our whole sex cells. Nadia Boccoli, the science behind popular and bizarre sex tips. A video showing the egg yolk method has claimed to improve sex lives, which has been viewed by millions. Now expert Nadia Boccoli explains how it works. We've all seen them floating around the internet, those tips about what positions to use to reach climax and which foods to chow down to get into the mood. But what advice works and what's just online mythology? To clear things up, here are a few hacks that have actual science behind them. Pull up your socks. A Seinfeld episode, comedian Kevin Hart swears by what? Why the hell have they relegated Kevin Hart to being a Seinfeld episode comedian? And it even appears
chat's losing it. It's practically unusable right now. It's with the CG. Mic is really bad.
Oh, really?
Come back to fan speak.
Hang on. All right.
Pull up your socks. Yeah.
I am confused. All right, hang on. I'll be right back. Yes, I'm going to try turning it off again, okay?
Oh, it's our show now.
Maybe he's doing a reboot. All right, our show now, yeah.
Yes. How do we take it over?
Well, we didn't need torches and pitchforks this time, so I don't know.
Damn it. He didn't leave us any of the buttons. He just left us all the control.
Oh, no.
So when he says he's going to talk about controversial stuff, do you know what that is? Is that just this article?
I guess so.
I thought he was going to get us in trouble.
Yeah, I was about to have to.
I know. I had my finger on the button. Do I leave? Am I?
Okay.
Yep.
Is it any better?
Oh,
Perfect.
there we go.
Nice.
Welcome back here.
Okay. Sorry about that. Underwater.
You want to, hold on, I'll be right back.
Sound like an AM radio station. You sure I don't sound like I'm on old time radio? All right, where was I? So pull up your socks. A Seinfeld episode comedian, Kevin Hart, swears by it, and it even appeared to be employed by a 2019 Love Island contestant who created some suspicious sheet movement with a castmate while his covered feet dangled from the end of the bed.
We can't see the article if you wanted to share it.
Oh, right, sorry.
You back up in the upper left corner or whatever. So I was dipping out.
There we go. Okay. The idea of leaving your socks on during the act makes for better sex has been around for a long time. Long enough, in fact, that in 2015, researchers at the University of Groningen decided to put it to the test by looking at brain scans of couples during sexual stimulation with and without socks on. Jesus Christ, some people have nothing better to do.
Imagine getting paid to do that study, though. Am I right?
I know.
Like, oh, I left my socks on again. Let's try again. Let's try. I swear I'll take them off this time.
And their findings suggest you're much more likely to reach the big O if you have warm feet. Admittedly, the study was only small and included just 13 couples. That's a huge sample size for couples having intimate relations these days, let's be honest. But the theory behind it does seem to hold water. Science has long known about the powerful connection between our minds and our genitals. Naomi Wolf even famously coined it as the brain-vagina loop. That connection means that any kind of environmental stress or discomfort can inhibit blood flow to the nether regions, making orgasm less likely. So simply ensuring you don't have cold extremities by slipping on some socks before getting down to business, before getting down to business could improve your chances of getting off. Oh, that wasn't much better. If you have a vulva, you've undoubtedly had a pillow thrust beneath your hips at some point during sex. Internet forums and blogs have been touting angled sex as a targeted way of hitting the G-spot during penetration since the dawn of Reddit, and they're definitely onto something. Though there are still some G-spot non-believers, anyone who's lived to tell the tale of having theirs stimulated, the rest are still regrouping and remembering how to access speech, knows the erogenous zones hold within it. The erogenous zone holds within it the power to deliver the kind of orgasms that can turn even the most hardened atheist spiritual. Oh, Jesus, they could have picked something more appropriate for the imagery. Located roughly an inch to an inch and a half to inside the front wall of the vagina, the G-spot can be a little tricky to get to, which is where the pillow trick comes in. Propping the pelvis up puts the G-spot at an angle that it essentially assures it hits during sex. It's not foolproof, but it's reliable enough to turn most people into believers. A good egg.
Like pile driver.
Method. Sorry?
The pile driver.
I gotta turn my audio up a little bit. Where are we? The egg yolk method is the latest sex craze to take TikTok by storm. Oh, so that's very reputable. We got some really good sources on this, people.
Oh no.
And as weird as it sounds, it's grounded in common sense. Don't be put off by the name either. This hack doesn't involve breaking an egg over your partner. Excuse me. Instead, it uses the yolk merely as an analogy for explaining how to correctly pleasure a vulva. How men should be taught, don't push too hard. Fair enough, T. Have a good day. Apologies. In a clip that's racked up over 13 million views, a woman gently circles a raw egg yolk with her thumb, showing that when she applies even the tiniest bit of pressure, the yolk immediately breaks. The instructive bit here being the approach to the clitoris like a yolk you are carefully trying to avoid rupturing. I feel like they've missed a word there. And this just makes good sexual practice, given the clitoris is home to an estimated 8,000 nerve endings, making it incredibly sensitive to overstimulation. A cup of joe. Last year, a hack suggesting drinking coffee directly before sex to have a stronger orgasm went crazy viral on TikTok. Where do they find the info for this? Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying. The theory behind it seems to stem from the idea that caffeine is a vasodilator, which essentially means it causes the blood vessels to dilate, subsequently allowing more blood to flow through them, and so could help boost blood flow to the genitals, thereby enhancing climax. Though there are no scientific studies to prove the efficacy of shooting an espresso before getting it on, Melbourne-based gynecologist Dr. Joseph Segroy did weigh in on the trend at the time, suggesting it may have a mild effect. Interestingly, the effect of caffeine on blood vessels varies. Blood vessels in the brain and lung tend to constrict, while those in the stomach tend to dilate. Add to this the effect of the brain on the brain as a stimulant, and you may get a sensation of improvements in your orgasms. However, he was also quick to point out that coffee is no replacement for adequate foreplay, and overconsumption can result in heart palpitations and digestive issues, to name a few unpleasant side effects of one of the many cups of joe, the caffeinated kind, not the one you're sleeping with. Megan, pound 6 Monster energy drinks, then smash. Got it. Oh, Jesus. Where are we? I mean, coffee is good for everything, really. Yeah, I had heard that. What do we got?
So what I'm hearing is you take a double short shot.
Stray cat sway. Oh my god, what did I just walk into? Did I just hear vagina sock? I don't think so. Sounds fine to me. Okay, fair enough. 1900 building would be superior. Oh Jesus, so actually still banging with socks is better than banging without.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that, like, without getting into anything too graphic or anything, I wonder if that would explain why. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, because I'm basing this off next to no information whatsoever. But is that why lingerie is so much better when it's coupled with like hosiery and that sort of thing? Like, does that cause any sort of benefit for you ladies? Like, I'm purely curious. Kid alert. Pillow Talk article. What? Oh my god. No. Well, I mean, look. Basically, just given that everything we've covered in the more serious side of the whole, we'll call it a female sex session. I thought it was appropriate to do something a little bit lighthearted. So this is the kind of educational content the world needs. No, fair enough. A lot of women like to grind that pelvic bone and it hurts. Interesting. Oh, Jesus. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Can you go back to that Divinity clip? Or not Divinity clip. Dictionary Diva. Yeah, I got something I want you to share here. Give me 1 second. Since she said she's... Here we go. It's in private chat.
Okay.
She's going to get a laugh out of this.
Okay, well, at least I know that I'm not going to get copyright stricken for this one.
No, she'll get a laugh out of it. That's right, Volstorm. Hashtag birds aren't real. Birds aren't real.
Oh, yes. I'd be coked out of my mind. I would. Oh, yes. Coked out of my mind. I would all the time. Oh, yes.
Okay, that's just going to go on repeat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought that was funny. How's it going, Diva?
Yeah, fair enough. Now I've got to work out why that's playing out. Okay, there we go.
Oh, it's from Ladies' Night the other night. If you haven't checked them out, The Expert had them on, and on Thursdays, Ladies' Night. So it's all females. I think The Expert puts on a wig because he comes in there every once in a while and says some stuff, but it gets super funny. Yeah, it's so good. Definitely check it out.
Cocaine is used as anything agent. Having coffee now, don't feel any different.
Well, there's a way to test it, Robin.
You gotta take the coffee ground to rub it on your teeth. Nice, see if it's a good blend or not.
Remember, if you're going to go and purchase a WeVibe, use your code.
So again, I missed that.
It's probably better if I don't repeat it.
Yeah.
I was just being a
I'll do playback.
Add some illicit substances, you're guaranteed a good time or death. Probably a good time. Crack rock before sex if your name is Hunter. Oh, Jesus. The whole Hunter Biden shit.
We call being on the hunt for a good lay.
Sorry?
Nothing. I'm not going to repeat that.
Fair enough. Caffeine has to be cycled because of the kinds of because those kinds of effects are short-lived. Yeah, okay, well that's fine. Pop a nose dose halfway through an orgasm. I'm sure by the time you're ready for round 2, you'll be good again.
I think caffeine has like a 4-hour half-life. That's a long orgasm, buddy.
Okay, so now we're getting into the whole tantric side of things.
Fair, let's do it.
Nick, but then you can't see their feet. That's the point, dude. Honestly. What was the cue? Yes, I'm aware that it's a visual stimulation for men. I'm just purely curious as to whether or not the hosiery itself has any sort of benefit for keeping your toesies warm. If not, put some fucking socks on. That post came off like a troll, but at least there's some basis for it. Clear socks, patented. Lingerie has a silky feel which gets us in the mood. Fair enough. Lingerie is just as sexy for everyone involved, plus it feels great.
Agreed.
Crystal, so why was laudanum so popular around the time when the treatments for hysteria? Didn't mean that I didn't like your topic. It's entertaining, lighthearted. No, look, that's perfectly fine, Robin. As bad as it sounds, Robin, even if you didn't like the topic, I'd still be here and I'd be telling you to have a cup of concrete, so don't stress. Lingerie socks for me, fair enough. I meant men, not me. Lingerie socks for men. Oh, okay, gotcha. Would keep in mind this is a major industry, so there's actually a huge incentive to study it. Lingerie is eye candy for men. I'm a woman. Silky stuff is good for a mood starter. We Vibe is a great toy usable by both men and women. Yeah, you're still not getting it anywhere near me, though. Good time before death. Socks plus caffeine plus Coke. I think we're really onto something here. Lingerie socks. How can we patent this? I'll contact IP Australia in the morning. You build a tolerance to it, which removes any effect you might experience from it. Isn't that the whole oh my God. Nick, I'm not putting that one on screen. I'm just not. You build a tolerance to it, which removes any effect you might experience from it. Yeah, I get that, which is probably the only reason why I only ever use no-dose or coffee for if I've really got to pull an all-nighter for court or something like that. Yes, the sexy visual image of lingerie and fucking bed socks.
That's what I was thinking.
Wait.
The Biden family motto: incest is best. Put your uncle to the test. Ooh, Nick, you're getting close to another timeout, dude. Hey guys, good vibes. Anyone know what happened with Farron's videos? I personally don't. There may be something going on in the background. I am unaware. I have not been contacted by Twitter. As soon as I know anything, I will keep it to myself. Sex on ecstasy is difficult. If you know, you know. Is Hunter stuck in a dryer? So it doesn't enter me. It doesn't enter you.
Talk about the toy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, still. It's like the fucking baldo. I still can't believe that that's an actual thing. Seriously.
What's the baldo?
It's a dildo that goes like it's a strap-on dildo that goes around your nutsack.
DP, buddy.
Yeah, for basically for double penetration.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that's what you were talking about. I was like, okay.
He didn't know its proper name.
No, I didn't. Its full legal name.
All women need to know how to have amazing orgasms. I remember watching some doctor on TV talking about the way, and I'll be forever grateful.
Ruth.
What did I skip?
Dr. Ruth, I think was her name.
Dr. Ruth.
Oh.
I think that was her name. Hold on.
Yeah, I remember.
She was like 70. Yep, that's her.
Touch the clitoris.
she's like. Oh,
Diggy says I don't believe that the baldo actually works. That's it. I'm out of here. Lol. What the fuck?
Hey, what's up, Madcore? How's it going, man?
I didn't even realize you were still here, Madcore. What, a sex toy that goes around the sack? Yes, and there's like, I for the fuck of me, I had to go and have a look because it was so morbidly curious for me that I had to know exactly how people were fucking messing themselves up this bad. So it's like so the top of the dildo is conical, and then there's like metal inside that goes around like a cock cage that goes down to the base. So you're not actually slamming your balls into this thing, which would be ridiculously painful. But I'm still not fucking putting it anywhere near it. Okay, let's just be absolutely clear. And yes, I will more than likely be clipping this part out.
What do you mean, to post it by itself, or?
Sorry?
You mean to post it by itself?
Yeah. He's clipping it out so it can live on its own.
I'm clipping it out, like, yeah, I can take it out of context.
Oh yeah. Honestly, at some point, I'm going to go through all of my videos, take all the inappropriate comments that I've made out of context, put it into a video, and see exactly how bad I actually look.
Oh, that's funny.
Supposedly going to, but your member in the toy with balls in it and her. Okay.
Madcore, you need to put some socks on and, oh, sorry. I'll wait till you get there.
Yep. Started showing up to work dehydrated every day, so had to cut back. Was going to jump on with you, but might get some sleep so we can stream in a few hours. Have a good one. Yeah, no worries. Let's face it, you know what sort of state I'm going to be in for it. So you by all means go and get some sleep. He was so curious he ordered one. Fuck no. No. Besides, the local sex store has afterpay. Balls. I don't get it, Tweety. What's the second one? Are they pants?
All socks.
Socks. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Madcore should hop on, though. He should put on some socks and grab a cup of coffee. Join us.
This time of night, be more beneficial for him, I reckon. All right. Woman mortified by neighbor's note blasting her animal sex. A woman has shared a mortifying note that has thrown her over the fence. That was thrown to her over her fence by an angry neighbor, blasting her noisy bedroom antics. British social media user. Of course, it's a social media user. Of course, it is. Because why else would you put this out there? Shared her horror after discovering a handwritten note declaring that she could never leave my house again. What? Sharing the scrap of paper and the scrawled contents on TikTok, many found Amber's unfortunate situation hilarious. Just found this note thrown over my fence. It's official, I can never leave my house again. Holding the crumpled and torn piece of paper to the camera, she said, if you are going to have animal sex during the middle of the day, please close your bloody windows. The annoyed writer unexpectedly signed off their very angry letter with a pleasant ta. Many found Amber's plight, which had been viewed by more than 1 million times, highly amusing. Why were they peeping through your windows for? They must be jealous. Would you prefer to do it? Sorry?
Why is she only wearing eyeliner in that picture?
No, I genuinely don't understand how makeup works. I'll be perfectly honest.
X'd it out. I think this is fake.
Yeah, X'd it out. I'm X'ing. She wrote that herself so people thought she was wild in bed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a crumpled. Didn't she say crumpled note? Can we scroll up?
That is true.
And it's not crumpled.
100% looking for media attention, 100% fake. Fair enough. One declared, oh my God, this is brilliant. I would die.
She's
Others
so
pointed out that the writer's spelling mistake suggested Amber should get her own back by pointing out the glaring error. Throw a note back with "your" on it. But some agreed that if the sex act was loud, she deserves the rude note. Amber's video inspired others to share their stories about being busted in the act. My neighbor called the police on us once. It was so embarrassing, they thought I was being murdered because of how I screamed. I just push all the notes, knocks on the walls, and dirty looks throughout my life into the back of my mind, added another.
Betting odds on OnlyFans?
I mean,
betting odds? What do you think?
Ooh, good question.
Yep.
Probably sooner than later.
I think 3-1 that she does.
I'm with you, Val. I think that's.
She has an 18+ site. I don't know if it's specifically OnlyFans.
Okay. Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and my 18 only. Yeah, it's an OnlyFans. Well done. You called it.
Yep. Got it. See.
Yep.
that was all that was publicity for her OnlyFans. It probably happened after she started it. So that's what that was.
Yeah. And it sounds like it wasn't necessarily a noise complaint, but he saw her through the window. He said, close your window.
Well, it wasn't even anybody though, right?
Well, yeah, but in her imagination, she's basically saying, "I do sex for the public."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's trying to
pound 6 monsters and get the lingerie. Jesus, Megan. Well, no, I'm going to bed. Fair enough. Someone needs to get a baldo for educational purposes. Fuck no. Not a chance. Someone may be protesting too much. Inclined to agree. Balls and socks, hilarious like locker room stuff. What's better, sex or Pokemon cards?
What's happening right now? I can't believe you have to think about it this hard.
I know there's going to be Cards Against Humanity tonight on Cool Frog.
That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played before, so that'll be completely new.
Exit down. That's her handwriting. Yeah, I think that probably was her handwriting.
Oh, wait, Hayden, did you not pick? Could you not pick?
I declined to answer pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights.
Okay, I didn't know you had that there.
We don't.
Then
never trust a woman who wears eyeliner and no mascara.
Yes, Megan, that was the weirdest thing to see.
I don't know. One of my neighbors is super loud. Well, Crystal, get banging on that wall. Volstrom says totally fake. I was thinking the same thing with the eyeliner. I'll talk yourself up. I've had noise complaints for loud sex before, so embarrassing. It happens. Also had an upstairs neighbor shout, "Get in, son." It's almost as bad as the guy. It's obviously completely fake, but guy hearing his neighbors going at it, so he yells out in his best Mortal Kombat voice, "Finish her!"
Nerds.
Just doing it for OnlyFans. I'm in the US. You can be put on the sex offender list if you're visible from the road. Really? That's interesting. I mean, I suppose that would be one case for the abuse of the new offending public decency laws here in Victoria once they actually pass, which I'm certain that they will. But again, I think you close your curtains, people. That's all I'm saying. If you can have your window open, but close your curtains. Another genius advertising ploy.
Well, wouldn't that technically fall under plain view doctrine, right?
Yeah, I would expect so. I mean, the thing here is that they're bringing in new laws, basically because of what happened with that absolute dickwad Adrian Pusey, offending the general public sensibility. So it can have up to a 5-year term now. Because basically, I don't know if you know too much about it, but I go on a massive rant about this guy probably every other. I'd say probably once every 3 days. This is a guy that was stoned out of his head doing double the speed limit down a freeway here in Melbourne. He got pulled over by cops, and as a result, those police officers, 4 of them, were hit by a semi-trailer that was being driven by a guy who himself was on drugs. So he got 22 years for killing the 4 officers, but the guy that was pulled over basically whipped out his mobile phone, started mocking the police officers as they lay there dying or dead, and then posted the videos on social media and to the Porsche website specifying that he wanted a refund on his warranty because of the damage done to his car. But basically, bringing it back, as a result of that, so we're fairly reactionary when it comes to our legislation.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, they're bringing in legislation for offending the public decency. And one of the things there is that if it's done in a public place, you have to be aware of whether or not what you're engaging in can be viewed from a public place. So whether or not someone can say view over the back of the view into your backyard over the fence, whether or not you've got your windows open, I can see that might be potentially abused in this instance. But I would be very interested to see whether or not there's any sort of gray area in terms of that. But basically, guys, as I was saying, if you're going to go and have crazy monkey sex and making all sorts of noises, at least close the fucking blinds, okay?
Okay.
Because at least then you can say, "Oh, I just left the TV on." Took it the wrong way because of what several women online were doing. Okay, I stuck into that one where I think it is one neighbor, one floor down, one across, because buildings are so close together, the moaning just bounces off the building and echoes.
Like a hot dog down a hallway.
Oh Jesus! I wasn't going to go there.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm not going to start in the dirty jokes. I'm not.
All right.
Oh, no. I could be here all night, unfortunately. And I do have a slight reputation to uphold, although I think this episode may have killed it. Tweety says, Nicholas Taylor has never had real sex. Probably not, by the way he goes on. Let's be honest. I don't share a wall with the loud neighbor. Interesting. They must actually be loud for it to, if you're not actually sharing a wall. So this is hilarious. Y'all are awesome. Always happy to help cats, Strange Cat's Way. Exhibitionism equals displaying sex for neighbors to see. No, not specifically for neighbors. Exhibitionism is more about the thrill that you get. It's the kink of knowing that someone is seeing you or could see you. No, close the window too. If you're quiet, it doesn't matter. But if you're loud or not sure, yep, close the window. Fair enough. My old roommate's girlfriend used to sound like a ghost during sex. Ooh, me and another flatmate used to walk down the hall, down the corridor, singing Ghostbusters. Needless to say, he doesn't speak to us anymore.
That's funny.
Oh, could have been worse. Nick, you could have been walking down the hall calling out, Nut Busters!
Opportunity missed.
Well, there is dogging as a pastime. Oh, God, don't even start with the dogging. But some of those videos when people don't actually understand what that means are fucking hilarious. Indecent exposure is deliberate in many sex acts. Yep. Damn, no FX song started playing in my head because of that.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, so
right?
yeah, so he's proving that he's not a virgin. He's had sex with himself, so he's made good use of the baldo.
So to go back to the previous comment where they're talking about deliberately. So it seems like you could argue. Oh, come on, cat. Sorry, she's messing with the door. It sounds like you'd have to have the mindset to intentionally have people hear you, and then it could be like a public thing, opposed to like, oh, we accidentally left the window open or something, right? Because you lack the criminal mindset, right? The mens rea there.
Depends on the specific jurisdiction, because you don't necessarily always need the mens rea. So there is a difference between. Hey, expert, how are you? Links in the chat if you want to pop in, dude. Otherwise,
stay in chat.
Basically. What was I going to say?
Mens rea.
Mens rea. Thank you. So it's the difference between what's called a strict liability offense and a non-strict liability offense. If it's a strict liability offense, irrespective of whatever your mental state is, whether or not you have a guilty mind or not, you're still guilty of the crime. So it's the same. It's like what's the example that we had in law school? If you say you went out fishing and you fished in a no fishing zone, but you didn't know that it was a no fishing zone. You didn't know that you were committing a crime, but you still are committing a crime, so you can still be fined for it.
Oh, fair enough.
It's when you have sexual intercourse with members of the canine family. What the fuck did I? Oh, what does dogging mean? No, dogging is when you have sex in public. I don't know why they call it that in the UK. That's just something. Actually, I think it's going and meeting up with random people and having sex in public in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what she says. Sex in a public place, like a park or car park with strangers. That's dirty.
I very much hope they at least use protection.
I don't understand that.
Oh Jesus! I had a friend who deliberately exposed himself. Exhibitionism was his thing apparently. No, let's be clear. Exhibitionism involves two people. Let's be perfectly honest. That's just flashing. Okay.
Voyeurism, is it called voyeur?
Voyeurism, I believe, is when you do the watching.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now you know. Now I'm going to just mess with myself and go to Urban Dictionary, which I know is going to be dangerous.
How strange. So, like, there's these people who drive around in their cars with their like wieners out and just wait for somebody to notice and be shocked. Like, Is that something that? Is it an arousal thing that they like? They're like, yes, I shocked them. Like, what? Does anybody know what that is? What it is that they actually like? You know?
Question. I don't actually know whether or not that's. So that'd be classed as flashing, but at the same time, what we have dogging. There is a protocol. Dogging. This is where people meet up in car parks and watch each other having sex. Sometimes other people join in, but it's mainly about watching and getting off on it. Oh, I went dogging last night at the local car park. It was jolly good fun. Not me. That was a quote.
I'm clipping that.
Yeah, of course you are.
Socks everywhere. Okay, so people are part of dogging is that two people are getting together to do it, but also people are showing up to watch them do this.
That's my understanding of it, is that there's people. So it's sort of it's combining exhibitionism and voyeurism. Because voyeurism as a person who derives sexual gratification from observing the naked bodies or sexual acts of other people's, especially from a secret vantage point.
Okay.
So could look in the lit, but don't know. Oh, okay, so look at the literature. Okay, assuming it's some sort of kink.
Yes.
Dick Flasher ended his life, so it was something more complex. What? You flash your car lights if you're there to partake rather than just watch. Jesus, Nick, you know a little bit too much about that for my liking.
Yeah.
Some people are shameless. Yes, they fucking well are. But, to each their own. I'm not kink shaming. We've already established this.
That's funny. All right, I'm actually gonna have to take off out of here and make some breakfast and get life happening. We will see you guys later tonight. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Thanks for dropping by.
See you later.
Take care, Divinity.
To be perfectly honest, I'm probably not far off falling asleep on my keyboard anyway. So.
Oh, no worries.
Oh, okay. Embarrassing sex injury that I didn't know exists. Okay, we'll finish off with this one, I think. Oh, look, it's Nadia Bockety again. So, embarrassing sex mishap that sent me to the doctor. Oh, God. Yes. At the start of a new relationship, sex expert Nadia Bockety ended up at the doctor's office with a very surprising diagnosis. Have you ever had your life flash before your eyes? I have, or more specifically, my sex life. It happened while lying back on a cold latex mattress as the GP peered beneath a sheath of surgical cloth draped over my pelvis. Ah, yes, I see what you mean. It looks inflamed, he noted. This was not how I planned today would go. My new squeeze was already on her way to see me, having made the most of the trek from Orange to Sydney. Okay, so you're after a country girl. Fair enough. We'd met on Tinder, and I was what they call a baby gay, still green to same-sex dating, and wildly naive about the world of heartache I was about to enter. As someone who spent my 20s and early 30s convinced I was emotionally cold on account of never crying over a breakup, I'd learned this was one of the many overlooked signs I was in fact gay and extremely able to be wounded when it was by another woman, but I digress. She was a fly-in, fly-out miner who faced her own mortality half the month, navigating excavators hundreds of meters underground, and spent the other 2 weeks in Sydney. The sex was quite simply life-changing. Like seeing the world in full colour for the first time. I savoured every moment as though it was my first bite of a delicious meal. Okay, I get it now, you're gay, you're very gay, she laughed the first time we slept together, having remarked I struck her as a straight girl experimenting when we initially matched. It was fast and frivolous, and I felt crushingly, embarrassingly in love. Fair enough. Something nobody told you about coming out much later in life is that it essentially thrusts you back into adolescence. I've since discovered an entire community of self-obsessed late bloomer lesbians via TikTok who confirm the existence of this phenomenon. Ranging from their early 30s to 50s, they're women who, like me, had relationships with men for decades before coming to terms with their queerness. And you could be forgiven for mistaking them for a bunch of teen girls hopped up on puberty hormones, giddily lip-syncing to love songs and spouting angsty monologues about their insatiable sex drives. It would all seem terribly cringeworthy if I hadn't experienced it myself. It's like a second puberty. Because you never really had one when you came out later in life, we late bloomers spent our teen years trying to fit into a box of liking boys and having sex we didn't love. Then you allow yourself to have crushes on women and sleep with them and you can't get enough. You're almost making up for lost time. Indeed, during my first girlfriend's visit to Sydney, we did very little else other than make up for lost time. And when she returned to the mine, I found myself like one of those TikTok late bloomer lesbians. Our last encounter playing on an enticing loop in my brain. My vibrator suddenly requiring frequent recharging. Unfortunately, something no one tells you about coming out later in life is that there's such a thing as overstimulation. Didn't we just read a full article that said that there's no such thing as overstimulation?
Yeah, I don't know.
See you, short order. Have a good night.
I mean, it would make sense that, I mean, yeah, it's weird.
What's that? I too looked into the literature and ended up landing on a website that's filled with perps. Lovely. I was accustomed to sporadic solo sex prior to this point, and the kind of partnered sex straight women I'm more familiar with, penetrative focused. But my second wind of puberty, coupled with the distinct inverse dynamic of sex with another woman, meant the typically under-acknowledged part of my vulva moved from supporting character to leading role overnight, and a role it was evidently unprepared for. Because it was a couple of weeks into a budding romance, I suddenly felt a pain in my pelvis. It's probably just an easily treatable STI, a friend reassured me on the phone. Everyone gets one at some point, go to the doctor, get it looked at, but in the meantime, you should probably avoid sex and tell your girlfriend. As someone who's particularly about seeing the same female GP, I typically book my appointments days ahead. But with my new squeeze already halfway to Sydney and possibly the abstinence of the possibility of abstinence and an awkward conversation looming, I abandoned protocol and panic booked the only available doctor that afternoon. An hour later, I was detailing my phantom pain to a male GP who looked suspiciously young to have graduated medical school. Okay, well, there are no female doctors who can look at it today, so would you like me to book you in with one in the morning? He asked, looking down at the stack of notes in front of me, as though trying to avert my gaze. No, I need it looked at right now, I urged, spontaneously losing all decorum, and began to tug at my jeans zipper in desperation for an answer. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let me duck out and grab a female nurse to be present. You can hop on the bed while I go. Yes, do that. He started, noticing I'd already shamelessly wiggled out of my jeans and lunged onto the bed. We'll run your blood and urine now, but the good news is it doesn't appear to be an STI. How could that be? I protested, recalling a Google search I conducted earlier that suggested I had a rare, potentially incurable infection. I'm pretty sure you've just, he paused to clear his throat awkwardly. You've just overstimulated your clitoris. Give the vibrator a rest for a few days and perhaps find some other things to do with your partner, he finally finished, appearing relieved to have gotten the words out. Are you sure? Can you take another look? I persisted, throwing off my modesty cloth so he could view my predicament more clearly, any sense of demureness reserved for such an occasion now long gone. I'm sure, he rebutted, pulling the curtain around me abruptly. He was right. A few hours after my girlfriend arrived in Sydney, my results came back negative, and after a few days' rest, my vulva felt back to normal too. Though it's been a year since I last saw her, I still think fondly of my first girlfriend and the world of sexual possibility our romance unlocked in me, as well as the lessons I gleaned from it. Arguably, the most important one being that, as it turns out, I'm not immune to heartbreak. All of those movie scenes of women crying into tubs of Ben & Jerry's while listening to sad songs are really accurate. Also, queer sex doesn't have a set endpoint, which is why, as a general rule, you should always stock Gatorade when your long-distance girlfriend is in town. And that second wave of puberty, it hits hard, so go easy on the vibrator and passion-filled all-nighters. Unless you have your entire sex life flash before your eyes in a doctor's office. Spear, Katrina. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was just, you can get irritated, like, with anything. So it makes total sense.
Oh, no, look, I'm not disagreeing. I mean, let's face it. I mean, not that I'm speaking from experience in this, but, you know, if you were to, say, go for a 9-hour marathon of self-stimulation, you could easily rub yourself raw.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would think that it'd be the same across the board, really.
Yeah. No pun intended.
Happy accident. What do we got? Only a very small subset of measured arousal from it would take a while to get through the lip. Oh, okay. All right. So still talking about the exhibition and the flashing. The alarming rate of flashers who expose themselves to children would suggest otherwise. I don't think that that's an exhibition issue. I think that's an entirely different issue. Let's be perfectly honest. She sounds like a sex worker trying to get a reaction from the doctor. I think she was really just that horny, frankly. Let's be perfectly honest. She was looking forward to having a girlfriend in town. She basically wanted an answer to say, okay, is it okay if we still engage in acts? I need my orgasm.
But I mean, she got smashed and dashed. Like, I mean, that's what happened.
Basically.
Yeah.
When you nut, but she's still sucking. Oh, Jesus.
Have you seen the meme where it's that, but it's have you seen Home Alone?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so the part where Harry puts his finger in the socket or whatever, gets electrocuted, and he's like his hair is sticking up, and he turns into a skeleton. Yeah.
Fair enough. No, see, all that this particular comment brings me back to is it pops up every now and then. It's a viral. I think it went viral, but it was a trailer for a fake horror film. Handjob Cabin.
What?
Yeah.
You said a fake horror film?
Yep. So it's a ghost that goes around giving terrible hand jobs to people with no lube whatsoever, to the point where it actually kills them.
Handjob Cabin, is that what it's called?
I think that's what it's called.
Oh, I'm putting that on my list of stuff to watch tonight. All right, there we go. I'll give you a review in the morning.
Colorful language. Yep. Came back, but she's still sucking. What? Came back to she's still sucking, and all I can say is noise.
Noise.
Oh, Susie just got here. Oh, damn it. Susie, I'm sorry. I'm literally about to hit the... What does they show us the ghost? All right, hang on. It won't be too much of a spoiler if I...
Is this the one that was in the apartment, or?
Where are we? I don't want to show the video.
Volstorm, Grim tags Handjob Cabin. Yeah.
It's not an actual movie. Okay, let's specify. It was a short film that was basically put together as a what do you call it? It was a short film, but it was done as a trailer. Okay,
well, let me think. Is it on? Let's see. So is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
So the trailer's on YouTube. Yep.
It's on there quite a few times. Wow, yeah. 33 million views. How did I not know this existed? Maybe inappropriate for some users. All right.
You think? Just to specify, the ghost doesn't specifically stop at the males either, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, so we're gonna pull it up. Awesome.
So, Handjob Cabin, the birth of Morning Wood. God, that was terrible.
Oh my God, that last picture. Oh my Lord. Ooh.
Well, actually, I suppose if I do the Vimeo one, I might not get done for copyright. Settings. No, I don't want to continue on as my... Oh, crap. Hang on. If I move that onto the other screen and do that as full screen, I should be able to share that without too much of an issue.
Oh my God, I'm done. Oh man.
Okay. Yes, PSA on a hand jobbing, basically. Susie says I have to show this to my hubby. Yes, by all means, go and proliferate it. Okay, it's fucking hilarious. But yeah. Yeah, look, I'm not going to show the full video, guys, because it's like 2 or 3 minutes long, and the number of strikes and copyright claims and whatnot that I've had recently, I cannot be fucked fighting any more of them, so I'm just avoiding them like the plague. But yeah, honestly, go and have yourself a good laugh at it. It's hilarious.
Here's the link. If you want to drop this in the chat for that.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, there you go.
How do we get from teachers to handjob cabin again?
Well, there was a pair of socks and a coffee cup. Oh, speaking of which, the teacher, was he wearing socks when he was in that picture, when he had the coffee cup?
I don't believe it showed his feet.
Huh.
I shall double check. As if I need an excuse to go back and look at that photo.
How funny would it be if he was wearing socks and he was in underwear drinking a cup of coffee? It would just be like, nice.
Kind of expect it, to be perfectly honest. Joe Biden falls off his bike. UK teacher. There it is. Okay. No, there's a video. I don't want that to play. Yeah, no, it stops mid-thigh. So no.
Oh, darn. Damn. Well, we'll never know. It's a great mystery.
Let's see if he has his own OnlyFans. I'm curious.
Oh, yeah, you would think, huh?
Well, I mean, if he's lost his job.
Yeah.
He's
hard up for work.
Hey-o. Oh, okay. Well, it's not coming up with anything, so presumably.
Ah, fair.
Those pesky thighs. Explain to Miss Law how a handjob video got you banned. Oh god, that would be funny. No Vaseline. No Vaseline. What's that? He's a subscriber of Trishy Land.
Oh no. That's probably that Trishy Land video is probably what did it for Farron, if I had to guess.
Oh, so has there actually been information that's come out? Because I can't get in contact with her.
Oh no, I'm just like, this is all speculation. But I forgot about the Trishy Land thing because I was jumping in and out about 5 different streams last night, looking around. But yeah, that one's, yeah. If I had to guess, because that one was pretty crazy.
I'm trying to work out who the fuck that is. What the hell? Is that even human? Oh dear God, it has an OnlyFans.
There was, so Farron was covering where the some guy bought access to her OnlyFans and was like critiquing her stuff and like railing her real hard. Pun intended. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, what do we got? Damn, well, when they said socks, I was like, people don't put Vaseline on doorknobs to make people freak out. No, but after you have a certain number of kids, Vaseline does become an incredibly intricate part of your sex life because you will need to put it on the doorknob to keep the kids out. The actress was quite bouncy, I must say.
The question is, right, do you put pedicures on your sex dolls?
Why would you go to that much effort unless you're a foot guy? I mean, I can see Nick doing it, but I would say not. No one knows what happened. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, when you get considerate, when you really want to be considerate, you put socks on your doll.
Oh, Megan, for toe fun. Ooh. Nick appreciated the comment.
There we go.
When my hubby first saw Species with Natasha Henstridge, what did he do? Rewound the full boob shot. And your point is? Like, holy shit. Like, I can kind of understand how that would have gotten her in trouble. But I mean, who the fuck is paying $170 for 12 months of access to that?
I mean, that's only what, $15 a month.
Yeah, but I mean, do they understand that like 90% of the
it's like 14.
Do people understand that 90% of the internet is like porn that's free?
I just had a flash of Quagmire when he learns about internet porn go through my head.
You see
He comes out with a big ass. Oh, nothing. Just check out some of that internet porn. All right, people. I'm gonna go back inside now. All right, yeah, I'll see you.
I'm just gonna go get the mail out of my mailbox. Looks like he's arm wrestling Arnold Schwarzenegger for the last however long.
Oh
man. What do we got? All of you are the same. Oh, look, at some point we've all got to get the shit out of us. Let's be perfectly honest. What was that? Nothing worse than the doll not being in the mood.
Oh man, Volstorm, come on.
That's terrible.
That's great. He's such good people.
There sadly aren't ethics in robot and doll rights. People taking.
Speaking of which, right?
Yeah.
Let's have some fun here. So let's say right, sex dolls exist, and AI is a thing. So what if there were like AI sex dolls, and then if it becomes sentient, is it now prostitution?
What was that? Door locks at $20 at Kmart. Ah, to keep the for the Vaseline. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, isn't there a Black Mirror episode, or is it Love, Sex, and Robots that covers this?
Oh, I have no idea.
There's an I keep seeing. Hang on, let me double check. I think it's Love, Sex, and Robots. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is Black Mirror. Basically, there's like a housekeeper doll sort of thing that sort of becomes a little bit sentient, and like, I think the husband turns on adult only mode or something, and the wife finds out. There's AI blowjob doll / machines. Trust you to know, Megan. Slowly devolving into a Midtown episode.
Drex.
You might have to explain that one to me, Nicholas. I got no idea what the fuck that is.
I think it's talking about Drex.
Oh, okay. When the AI and the sex doll tells you to take a cold shower, you're really screwed up. If you bought the robot, is it now slavery? Don't shame me, Nick told us. Can't be sentient. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was an article. The guy got fired from, was it Google, I think? They were working on AI.
Yeah.
And it became sentient. He was having a conversation with it. And
and they tried to keep that very quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I actually covered that in a video a little while ago.
Yeah.
So, no, I think that I do come down on the whole sentience thing, though, is that eventually with computer learning and that sort of thing, it will be very, very fucking close to being sentient. So we'll certainly have to sort of watch this space and see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? Because then you would have minds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, you'd have like hardware minds and wetware minds, basically, and different laws. Like, it's kind of weird.
The two different AIs creating their own language is fucked. Yes, and that freaked a lot of people out.
Weren't there 3 of them? And they made one where they cut the other one out?
I think it's what happened. That.
Yeah,
All I heard about was the 2 that started talking in code to each other.
Yeah, they cut I think there were 3 of them talking, and they cut the one out.
Wow, so they even at the point decided that, oh no, we're going to be in a click and cut someone out of this. Jesus.
Yeah.
Volstrom, would the sex doll have a credit card reader? Well, I know where you could swipe it. Prostitution is legal here, so does it matter? Other than all the prostitutes being made redundant. Could you own it though? So how can it be slavery? Well, isn't that the whole point of what slavery is? Owning something that is sentient potentially, and now we're getting too philosophical. All of this was supposed to be talking about clits and all sorts of things. This is getting a little too serious.
I mean, slavery is property in man, right? And then what makes a man but their mind? So at that point, it would be property in AI, right? Or of a mind. So it's kind of weird. It's a weird gray area there.
Yeah. Don't be quiet. That's sentient. They will only learn to watch behavior and watch to match you. Well, no, Susie, that's the trouble, is that we've already gotten to the point where AI is learning to go beyond what we teach it. And that's the whole point about adaptive learning, is that, yes, they can mirror things, but then they sort of refine it down to what's more efficient, if nothing else. So it can be very fucking scary to talk about it. How about this? Google AI accesses the AI in the sex doll, and all your perversions seen through the sex doll AI reactive eye cameras. And, oh, Jesus, audio go worldwide and upload.
Talk about, oh, damn. Damn.
I wouldn't be thrilled about Skynet, but I also wouldn't be against it. I think Megan's come back from the future to kill the future leader of the resistance. Someone might need to keep an eye on her. Oh, now we know your true purpose here. We found you out. You were here being frisky and flirty with Nick, but at the same time, you've been lulling us into a false sense of security so that you could kill off the leader of the resistance and make sure that the machines win. Lex Fridman has expertise on the subject, has a decent podcast on the topics came up. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Lex is great.
Personally, I think people are too easy to fool. Yeah. AI clits distribution. The Star Trek episode Measure of a Man. True.
Really? Let me get that down. All right, you're good. Measure of a Man.
Expert says, I leave the room for a moment and come back to you talking about AI masochism. Megan says, no, I just kind of want to be paddled by Scott. I'm hurt and offended. But I understand. And I'll move on. Anyone who's read that series, too creepy. Mm-hmm. Skynet took over all of the sex bots and ruined all the sicko political politicians' careers.
So what you're saying is vote for Skynet 2024?
Well, you know. Oh, dear God. Hey, Alexa, load my latest kink.
Oh, God. Hold on. Loading Alabama Hot Pocket.
Oh, Jesus. Don't shame me.
Oh, man.
Oh, but I mean, seriously, think about it, though. Skynet is a Department of Defense program, if I remember right. I think by the time you get to Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, yes, it was technically considered part of the Department of Defense. Prior to that, Skynet was a independent contractor construction. Because that was, I do know the name of it. It doesn't matter. Lumberjack, what did I just walk into? Bloody blah, how you doing? You measure a man from the base to the tip. Oh, Scott says, wait, what? Is this the same live stream as earlier? Is Hayden going for a world record live stream? No, different live stream. I've only been going for about 3.5 now. But you're just in time. Megan, Scott, let the paddling commence. No shaming, congratulations, maybe, but shame. Nope. Even better if Alexa can guess your latest kink accurately. See, if Alexa has that much information on my mental state that Alexa can guess what's going to get my rocks off next, I'd be very fucking concerned.
I'd be very excited. And then have to go to the doctor and say, can you take a look at this?
But I mean, it's like, what was the movie? The Seventh Day, or the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger where they start cloning people, and he goes and he sits. Was it Total Recall? Anyway, he sits down in his mate's chair, and the chair starts unzipping his fly, and he jumps out of the chair and he looks at his mate and goes, "That's fucking disgusting." Voyager also has a fairly decent rehash of that episode, one where the Doctor writes the Holo program. Oh, because you're talking, yeah. What's the other one where he writes the command protocol to transfer the? He basically becomes captain, which I thought was really interesting. You need to save your voice to sing later. Yeah, that's sort of what Madcore said. But at this point, I don't know if I'm going to be awake. I'll do my best, but you know.
Grab yourself a cup of coffee.
Oh no! See, I only ever do coffee and well, I can't really say caffeine because I drink Coke like it's water, but no, it's more that I've got to try and sort out like nighttime. So it's 4 a.m. here. Let's be perfectly honest. This is my me time. This is about the only time that I get to myself. I have be careful with coffee and socks.
There you go.
Crystal, why would anyone care about the Women's Hockey World Cup? Unless it's taking valuable TV time from something else.
Hey, you want to... Here, I know how to summon Nate the lawyer. Women's soccer. He'll be here in just a bit.
I would kill to have Nate on this channel. I'll be perfectly honest.
You start talking women's soccer, he'll show up.
At Grimsby, anybody have a Coke? Anyone have any Coke?
Yeah, man. Where's the cocaine? That's funny.
Oh, you're talking about the actual Skynet? Yeah, because there's an actual computer program or something that they were working on at some one point. Why the fuck would you bother to actually call it that? What's that? The back room of the Law Patrol, past the front counter and the funny single-person booths and the ball day displays.
Got him.
Oh, Phil, you're lucky you did. All right, look, it's just hit 4 o'clock. I'm going to sign off because at some point I do actually need to be involved in the karaoke, and apparently that isn't going to involve me going into my office, which is going to make a lot of people in my serviced offices laugh. But it's better than having my wife mad at me. So, Grim, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thanks for dropping in.
Thanks for having me, man. It's great being here.
Yeah, no worries, anytime. Everyone else, as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Cheers, guys.